Whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up in the place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate.
Broken dreams in my pocket. Golden thing round my neck like a locket. Carve your name in my mind, cause you caught it. You caught it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the young so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine just so that I could show you. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. Golden. Lay on the carpet, eye to eye, glistening. No, I saw it. I saw it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the young so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine just so that I could show you. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. Golden. You're golden. Yeah, you're golden. You know it. Yeah, you're glowing. Golden. Golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the young so I could show you. Golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the golden.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport here for the Pro-Am Series tonight. 9 cars currently on the track. There is meant to be 13 drivers with us tonight, hopefully 14 if Sekulovic does turn up. We have not heard from him. Others away on holidays or other commitments this week and cannot make the race. But we are here live at the Hungary, the home of my co-commentator tonight. That is Benedict Varga. Ben, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, everyone, and I'm fine, thank you.
Back at your home circuit, ready for some good racing around the Hungary ring?
Yeah, I waited for it.
And we're also joined in the box tonight by that of PNMotorsport. PN, good evening to yourself. How are you?
Good evening, Matt. No, it's not been very fair the last couple of days, but hey ho, we're still here. We're still here. We're at the Hungary ring, where I did not have a very good night last night at NAM. Just had no pace, but and DJ Phil's doing the session, so we're up to 10 cars now.
We're up to 10 cars, which is great to see, which means DJ Phil is here and is ready to go for tonight's racing. And so just the 3 that haven't turned up, which is a little annoying when you have to do the reverse grid, let's say the least. Either way, the championship order going into the Hungary ring looks a little like this. It is this man on Orthodox who leads the championship. He is 67 points clear of Daz Automatic, currently running in second place. Third place is the home driver tonight of Kishanyika. He's running P3, 74 points off the championship lead. Many fans, many commentators surprised of who is P4 at the minute. It's KLF 900. He's having a fantastic little season. He's running P4. Race winner last time out at race 2 of Imola. He is P5. It's Dennis Newman in his Honda. Not looking like he's got the almost pace tonight, as he's currently down in 7th on the leaderboard at the moment. Ant, who is away this week, he is down in 6th place. Noza, not yet here tonight. He's meant to be. He's P7. Sutty Apex back from his week at work. He's running P8. A chance to really climb up the championship standings tonight. Sekulovic, not heard from him. He's currently running P9. Hypertech, P10. Again, a little off the pace at the moment, but running P10 in the championship. Bryn having PlayStation 5 problems. It will not switch on. So, yeah, he might be missing for a few weeks at the moment. Shoemaker is down in P12. We've just Game in Real, meant to be here tonight, not here at the moment. He's P13. DJ Phil is then 14th place. Ginger Bush back from his couple of weeks of work. He is currently running P15. Lucas Roth still got monitor problems, running in P16. Great to see Monkey Boy back out on the circuit. He is running P17. Leon Fernie meant to be here P18. And then we have a new driver who is back next week from his holiday. Max Mulder on holiday as well. The Constructors' Championship looks a little like this. It is Audio Sport to with a team that are top dogs at the moment from KD Racing by 148 points. Audio Sport have been fantastic this year, and they look like the team to beat going into this season. KD Racing a second before the Greasy Bandit Racing team. Switchback Racing a fourth with worst pace scenario fifth. Dynaco Racing P6. Barry the Cat Racing P7. The manufacturers looks like this. After last night's amateur race, which yes hasn't been streamed again due to the poor cameras and low numbers, we are not streaming at the moment. PlayStation 5 things may be coming on a Sunday evening to replace that, with the amateur championship still taking place. The manufacturers championship though looks like this. Bentley now have a 72-point lead after the amateur class, but obviously Audi will take to the track tonight with Daz and Dan. Ferrari sits P3 at the moment, just ahead of McLaren by 4 points. Honda not far off the back of them too either. They are some 40 points behind McLaren, but obviously with one McLaren and 2 Hondas tonight, that'll close that gap down for sure. Lexus are currently P8. They're a little way off the back, but ahead of Porsche in their little fight there. Aston Martin are fighting Jaguar. That is a point separating them, and the BMW is only 4 points behind the Aston Martin. And then it's Mercedes, Lamborghini and Nissan bringing up the rear. So no pressure, Nexus, but tomorrow night, if Noza joins tonight in his Aston Martin, that Jag needs to score well tomorrow, because Smokey Devil's also on your tail.
Yeah. Actually, Jag is quite well in the manufacturer's championship with me, so
we are, though.
For some points.
Well, hopefully so for you. We're at your home circuits. That should bode well for you. I think in pre-season testing you was quicker here than what you was in the Audi. I think you said.
That's true.
So, you know,
that's true.
Could be good for you. Could be good for you.
I hope it will be.
Well, let's see what happens as we go through the evening then. We'll get to reverse grid as we get to it. 10 minutes left. PN, Bentley driver on a Tuesday night. Sutty and Monkey Boy missed last week. It's great to see them back out on the track. And the fact that there's 2 Audis out there tonight and then there's 2 Bentleys out there tonight, it's kind of going to bode well for Bentley to keep a good hold and a good firm grip on that manufacturer's lead.
It will do, yeah. Come on, Bentley. Yes, come on. I know there's a few in pro as well. So, including Overtaker, yourself, Shane, if his PS4 isn't overheating. A lot of people are having PlayStation troubles lately.
Yeah, just in time for Christmas for a new one.
Yeah.
But go on, Ben.
I just said yeah, because mine is 7 years old, so...
Yours is 7 years
but
old.
it's still working.
Time for a PS5 is what I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it is time, yeah.
Never know what Christmas will bring you. But the Bentley's going into... And I'll ask, this goes to Ben as well and PN. Bentley tonight are in a real... We saw last year, Ben, that the McLaren was the dominant car to be in. And it really won the manufacturers very early on. This season, there's a good fight between Bentley and Audi. And then there's a good fight between Ferrari, McLaren and Honda for third. Then Lexus and Porsche locked in a good fight. Then you've got Aston Martin, Jaguar and BMW all locked in a good fight. There's a lot of manufacturers' battles here up for grabs.
Yeah, it's quite surprising that there isn't so much McLarens on the grid like last year.
I'm not sad about that at all.
I didn't say that.
There's only one very good McLaren, that's the F1. The Gordon Murray car from the 90s. That thing was mental.
Yeah, that's right.
So as we're at the Hungaroring, the oversized go-kart track, or the, as Dan keeps saying, the Monaco with no barriers. Yeah, it's got a water park at the exit of Turn 4 I found out last season. That was thanks to Ben telling me that. Lovely water park at the top of Turn 4, Turn 5.
Yeah, it's actually a quite good spot if you want to attend the Grand Prix weekend.
What would it be like 20 degrees ambient temperature today? What would it be like if you was at the water park, 20 degrees? Nice?
The best thing you could do. The best thing you could do on a Grand Prix weekend, actually.
So there we go. But if you are around, make sure you come and tune in. Obviously, hit that thumbs up button if you like what you see here. Hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And subscribe to the channel if you are new. Dan and PN will be bringing you the action tomorrow night in the Pro. And if you're wondering why there is no spectator cameras, again, we can only apologise for this. They are not working on the PS4 servers, which is why we are looking at bringing a PS5 league sooner than what we wanted on a Sunday evening. So keep your eyes tuned in for that one, in which I will be bringing you the action. Whoever wants to join me in the box, more than welcome, but I will at least be bringing you the action for that. Right, we're coming, boys, to the halfway point of the season, and I suppose it's only fitting to talk about the leader at the moment and our championship leader, Dan on Orthodubs. 67 points in the lead, didn't win the last race, and isn't feeling massively confident here tonight. Coming up to Donington, which will be halfway, is he starting to feel the pressure a little bit?
Well, you can have a lot of pressure from Des, that's for sure.
PN? Well, we're feeling pressure here. He's 4 tenths up at the moment in practice. So, it's still a long way of the season to go. After this week, we've got half of the season. And there's some very interesting tracks, some punishing tracks in the case of Bathurst. Because you get it wrong on the mountain, that's it, that's your lap done. Or your race done, even.
I miss Bathurst, I'm quite glad about that.
I would have loved to see what the KTM would have been like on GT4. But,
I'm back in Switzerland.
But you will be able to see the Jag.
I'll be able to see the Jag, and I'll be able to experience it in the Bentley.
Yeah. So Bathurst comes up in 2 weeks. We obviously got Donington Park next week. Donington Park, a bit of an all-round circuit, bit of a circuit which kind of gives you everything. Tonight's obviously a little different because you've got that first sector, which is really where all the overtaking happens, and a middle sector, which is very tight and twisty, Ben, that we're not going to see many overtakes, if any at all.
Well, the best overtaking opportunity, of course, it's T1. and I think that's it. So literally the only place you can overtake here.
PN, do we think that, again, Turn 1 is the only place to overtake, or do we think that there could be more opportunities throughout the evening?
In a GT3 car, pretty much, unless you really get your elbows out and send it to a side or something like that. But GTs don't have DRS, thankfully. I hate DRS and motor racing.
Me too, me too.
I despise it with a passion. It's just artificial. So yeah, C1 really, and you've got to have a very grunty car. Look at the BMW in GT4s on Monday. That thing just pulled away from everything on the straight.
It did, but it was obviously under pressure throughout the corners. We are, though, heading into the final part of practice, which means we are getting ready to go into our reverse grid. Good evening to Thomas Marshall in the chat. Rooting Honda, go Team Phil. He's saying Hypertech in the chat. Good evening to you, Fury's granddad, peaceful stepdad. Ratchet, who will be on the amateur grid next year. Official Puffingly. If I pronounced that wrong, apologies. The Ripper's there, as is Micro J's. Hasn't in our chat. Because if the official Puff English in, as may get a little excited for that one. Ginger Bush, currently 6 tenths off the back of the in the Porsche. Good to see the Porsche back out on the track.
Yeah, it's nice to see.
Yeah,
A Porsche have a place,
especially at the top three.
Yeah,
Porsche
Dennis
has a place in GT.
it does. No, you're right. It does. Such Apex within 8 tenths of a second. Well, now we got to speak about the homegrown man tonight, Kishanyika, whose name we're getting. We're confident with this name now, Ben. We're not getting it wrong anymore. I hope you've noticed.
You say it totally right.
Yeah, thank you very much. He's a man who is on his home circuit tonight. What will he want? He got a pole position here on Monday night in the Ginetta GT4. Will he be hoping to get more of the same in the Lexus tonight?
That's the main goal if it's your home Grand Prix, of course. But he's a bit off the pace at the moment.
Ice fuel.
Well, we don't know the fuel strategies that people are running. This is the interesting thing. Him and Kelly are pretty close together. Monkey Boy's a little off the pace, and Hypertech and DJ Phil not on the pace at all at the moment. So then, quick roundup of tonight's action. So at the minute, there is no milestones in terms of drive. In fact, no, there is one milestone for drivers tonight. Apologies. Daz Automatic will make his 150th race appearance his 50th race appearance in race 2 this evening. So that's a massive milestone for him tonight, and that is a good milestone for him to get to.
And he will sure have a good fight with Dan, that's for sure.
He will indeed.
Oh. At least it's a lot cooler track temperatures this time around.
Yeah.
When last season at Hungary Ring was like 49 degrees for the track.
Yeah, it was the hottest, I believe.
In the real world, the tarmac would be moving under the car because it would be melting. But at 27 at the moment of this phase of practice, that's not too bad. Unlike the potential weather for next week at Donington.
Yeah, it's not too shabby, but Donington looks a little interesting at the minute.
Cooler to say the least.
And you know what's the luckiest thing about this race? That yesterday we had a massive rain, and we now don't have a rain, so
No.
I think we're lucky.
Good job that Mike locks the weather in last week then, isn't it?
Yes. If he didn't, it would be catastrophic.
It would be catastrophic, that is for sure. As we're watching Monkey Boy at the moment, there is 31 seconds left, so drivers in the pits will not be getting any more laps in. Kelly is the next one to the line. I don't know if he's going to get one more run in here. So it's Daz on his 50th race start in race 2 tonight. In terms of pole positions, nothing for any other car here. In terms of race starts, Bentley only need 8 more race starts to get their 250th in GT3 racing. They'll get 4 tonight, which means that for Bentley, they will be probably on their 250th race start tomorrow night. In terms of podiums, Bentley needs 7 podiums. Well, again, they could get 4 podiums of them 7 tonight. Ferrari need 3, but Hypertech a little off the pace at the moment. So that is all that we need to notice here. Fury needs 4 wins for 50, but that will not be tonight at all. That will have to wait until next week. We are, though, getting ready for qualifying. Guys, I'm going to get your tips for pole position. Who do you think will be your tip for pole?
What? We don't have a qualifying yet.
Sorry, who will be your tip for race 1? Apologies, you're right. Who will be your tip for race 1?
Good job I'm here now, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I'll go with Daz.
PN?
Who do I put the commentator curse on?
That's the real question.
Yeah, it is.
And it's very real with me as well. I'm going to say... Sutty. He's gonna send it.
You think Sutty's going to win the race?
Yeah. Well, he starts up higher.
But yeah, Team Bentley.
Well, let's see what happens then, because yeah, this will be an interesting one. Obviously, we'll get the reverse grid to you now. Now, there is drivers missing. Of course, there is. Why wouldn't there be? Why wouldn't people make it a little more difficult than it has to be? We're going to get the reverse grid up for you now, and yeah. Basically, 3 drivers that will not be starting where they should be. So there will be no Leon Fernie, which promotes Monkey Boy to pole position. There will be no Just Gaming Real, which promotes Hypertech and people up the order. There will be no Noza, which promotes everybody up. And there is no Sekulovic, which means everybody goes up yet another position. So at the moment, it will be Monkey Boy on pole position. It will be Ginger Bush 2nd place. It'll be DJ Phil 8th. It will be Hypertech 4th, Sutty 5th, Dennis Newman 6th, KLF will go from 7th, Kishanyika 8th, Daz 9th, and Daz Unorthodox will be 10th place. Now, what this means is, I'm going to go Ginger Bush. This man lining up 2nd, and he had good pace in the practice.
I like how my Bentley's eating Dennis Newman's at Honda and your Bentley's eating Daz's Audi right now.
Good, innit?
Absolutely devouring him.
Absolutely brilliant as well. Let's get a poll up in the chat. Good evening to Overtake. Come on, drivers. Give Unorthodox a challenge. P for Explosion. Daz will be out for blood tonight. It will indeed. As race 1 winner. Let's get the poll up. So, Unorthodox, Ginger Bush. We're also going to go with Sutty Apex, starting up the grid. And let's then also go Daz Automatic, as we now get put to the pit lane. So the grid order should be Monkey Boy on provisional pole. He's already on pole. That is fantastic. Ginger Bush lines up behind him, even better. DJ Phil will then go from 3rd. Yes, he is. From 4th place, it should be Hypertech. Yep. 5th place should then be Sutty Apex. Yep. 6th place should be Dennis Newman. Yep. He's a bit slow at the minute, letting the top 4 get away. I don't know why. But Dennis is in the correct spot. Then it should be KLF. Kelly's now in the right spot. Then it should be Kishanyika. Then it should be Daz. Then it should be Dan. Look at that. Before turn 1, we're all ready to go. We're going to go on board DJ Phil into turn 1, I reckon. To get your predictions in the chat of who you think is going to win the race. I think Team Honda for the win. They need a win, as Daz always wins. Let's make it hard. Dan always wins.
Oh, Daz.
Daz hasn't won a race yet. But yes, I know what you're saying. He's either ran out of fuel, put it in a wall himself,
or ran out of fuel.
Or he's too busy boogieing to Phil Collins that he doesn't give a damn.
You can feel it in the air tonight.
Can't he just?
Yes. I can feel a Daz win in the air tonight.
10 cars, like, it's a bit of a poor show.
It's
in the
not
game.
great, is it? It's not great, is it? Especially
Well,
when
it
three of them confirmed and then haven't turned up. One didn't confirm at all. It's yeah.
Yeah, it's...
Which means one of them as well will carry a qualifying ban over to Donington Park.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I can't wait for Donny. Home race for all the British drivers of the season.
home race for all the British drivers. Home race for me, especially being 45 minutes away. So yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one.
Gary might be strong there because it's a British track, and Gary at British tracks and pro.
Yeah, always goes
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Though I think he enjoyed Monza in GT4s. Like the well, he's been throwing darts at a wall.
Yeah.
I have to put a picture of someone I don't like on the dartboard so really get it. At the moment, these days, it's Max Verstappen. Come on, they should be double file by now.
We are about to get underway for the first time this evening. And who will be...
Kishanika is not in the right place. No, he is.
Yeah, it should be
Hasn't
Bianca.
double filed with Dan yet. Bit
Ah,
of a
there you go.
space.
Daz is following Kelly, so he's in the place he needs to be. Right, we're going to watch from DJ Phil and see what happens down into turn one. The race start is initialised. It is green and go here for the first race of the evening. Sooty Apex has got a demon start. DJ Phil's not got the best of getaways here, and it's now Sooty Apex who looks down into turn one. Up the inside of Ginger Bush. Hypertech thinks they're sending one. He's barged Ginger Bush well wide. They've gone so wide at turn
Daz is
one.
around.
Daz is
Kelly.
round. Dennis is round, Kelly's tapped Daz, and Dan gets a little bogged down having to avoid all the drama there, but it is so far a Dynaco Racing 1-2, and Sooty's got his teammate done. Sooty Apex leads this race from Monkey Boy, and I believe it's DJ Phil sitting P3, indeed it is. Kishanika didn't get through the pack much either, behind DJ Phil, even though Daz got a whack from Kelly. Daz is sitting P4, Kelly's up into 5th place as they come through the start at the timing screen now, so it's Hypertech in 5th, Kelly 6th, Kishanika 7th, from then Ginger Bush, then Unorthodox and Dennis Newman, who I believe Dennis Newman dropped it on his own, but already Sooty Apex has gone from 5th place to P1, great opening couple of corners.
Yeah.
Dennis Newman was stabbed by Daz, actually.
So that's what
Yeah,
happened to Dennis.
Yeah, as we've got the Bentley Bruisers in front again.
We have, although Monkey Boy's a little wide, and DJ Phil goes wide, and Dennis goes wide, and there's a lovely little train of cars here. Dan's just having a look on Ginger Bush, but tucks back in behind. At the moment, we're seeing Kelly defend from Kishanika. Kishanika, though, misses the apex, and Ginger Bush has a little look. He has a sniff of an opportunity. Dan's going to have a look up the inside, down towards that final couple of corners. Daz down up the inside of Ginger Bush, overtaking the Porsche. They nearly make contact. Kishanika has a bit of a wiggle. Dan doesn't get the move done on Ginger Bush because of Kishanika having a moment. I think he may have got off the throttle there just to avoid any incident. Daz has got past, and I think Ginger Bush has just tapped Kelly around.
It's very pro-am, he ends up.
It's a pro-am start. So Sooty pulling away from Monkey Boy. It's now Daz Automatic up into P3. Is this the start he needed? Then it's DJ Phil and Hypertech. Then it is Dan who got past Ginger Bush. After Ginger Bush
Kelly's in.
got past KLF, had a contact with KLF. Kishanik is now running P8. Dennis is 9th, and Kelly straight into the pits. That's probably the best option for KLF already.
Wouldn't GT4s where the overcut actually worked with Dan in race 2? So it'd be interesting to see here. Question is, how quick will Daz get on the back of Monkey Boy?
Well, this is the question. How much will Monkey Boy hold Daz up? Dan gets a good run coming up towards turn 4. He's got to be brave to go around the outside here. He gets a little earlier on the brakes than Hypertech and has to wait to do it another day. Hypertech, though, very slidey through the corner. Manages, though, to slam the brakes on. Dan's now under pressure from Ginger Bush, who is having a look into turn 5. Can't get it done, and already, Ben, we're seeing the Bentley starting to pull away out front, but Dan's trying to chase him down.
Well, it was an interesting start and really good for the Bentleys. Maybe a Bentley 1-2.
Long way to go yet.
Yeah, let's wait and see. Kishanyik is now on the back of Hypertech in this one at the moment. Hypertech had a little slide. Kelly is now away, so his pit stop's done, and they're only coming down to the back part of the track, so it's not bad for Kelly. Sutty's got a 2.1 second lead here, and Hypertech, who did lose out to Ginger Bush as well. DJ Phil, he's had a moment. What's happened to him? Because he's tumbled right down the standings, and Dennis Newman's gone up the inside of Kishanyika and gets up the inside 2 into 1. Thank you, Mama, for the carrots.
Yeah,
Kishanyika was stabbed.
Phil made a mistake in going into the chicane, and he had to wait for the pack to go fast.
Kishanyika was tapped by who?
Maybe he was sliding. I'm stuck on bonnet camera, so I didn't see. I just see him going sideways.
If you press drive, you can change it to the chase camera.
Yeah.
And that will help you. So Ginger Bush trying to hunt down Dan. He's trying to go with him. Dan's got 2 seconds to Daz now. Daz hasn't made the inroads on Monkey Boy that he probably would have liked to do. 4 minutes gone in this race already. And Sutty Apex is sitting pretty here in the lead of this race. He's having a good start.
Yeah. It's sort of VW Group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. Off the grid of VWs. So, we were saying about the Bentley versus the Audi battle. It's Bentley, Audi. Bentley going to get more points in this Manufacturers' Championship at the moment. As Sutty comes through the chicane, Monkey Boy comes through now. Daz 1.8 off the back, and Dan 1.6. I've got the feeling the gloves may be off here when these two come to fight again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Daz is wide, that'll be track limit.
Daz very, very wide through there. Now, I do have Dan, Monkey Boy, and Hypertech Stream on. Dan has 1 track limit warning. Daz doesn't actually have any yet. Hypertech doesn't have any, and Monkey Boy doesn't have any. So it is only unorthodox with 1 track limit warning at the moment.
Well, I had 1 last night as well. Daz is already on the back of that. Dan is already on the back of Daz. Get it the right way around.
That's more like it.
And Ben, going down into turn 1's really the only place to overtake, so Dan needs a good run out this final corner here.
Yeah, and it's an easy dive bomb if you are close enough.
Well, let's see what the gap is as they cross the line. It's half a second, just under. So Dan is pretty close. But did he get the exit out the final corner he'd have wanted? He's not close enough at the minute. He pulls out to have a look. He's nowhere near close enough. Daz has gained half a second on Monkey Boy that lap. Sutty's now 3.5 seconds away. So for Monkey Boy here, he's got the current championship leading pair behind him. But he's trying to also... He's in his own race. He's still in this championship as well. But he's just got to defend his place and let Sutty go.
He could be the roadblock, couldn't he?
Yeah.
He could be the perfect
perfect trolley chain. The perfect trolley train. Right, now Dan is getting right onto the back of Ginger Bush and uses all the curb on exit. Daz a little wide there. That's where Dan managed to defend from Fury to get Fury that drive-through penalty on Monday night. Fantastic defensive drive from Dan. Indeed it was. And at the minute, Monkey Boy not making any mistakes, is Monkey Boy. You've seen Daz behind. Although he's catching, Daz seems to be making more mistakes than Monkey Boy.
Well, Monkey Boy's very calm driver, really. I don't think I've ever heard him get flustered like other drivers. Myself, yeah.
Sunday night.
Sunday night, a certain Mr. Duffin, me last night. Yeah.
Daz now right on the rear wing of Monkey Boy, and he has a look, and Monkey Boy has to get out of that and avoid it there. And Monkey Boy's now going to lose out to Dan as a benefit of that. Monkey Boy's going to look up the inside of an Orthodox and keeps it tight to the corner. I don't think he's going to get that done. Daz now dives straight into the pit.
He's in the pit.
And Monkey Boy tries to now tuck back underneath for Unorthodox, but that was one heck of a lunge from Daz there, and Monkey Boy had to avoid to see him coming.
Yeah, that's a sign of a driver who knows what they're doing when they think, uh-oh, here's a car coming.
Dan goes defensive on Monkey Boy and comes back across. Oh, Monkey Boy had to put the brakes on earlier there. That's interesting for Monkey Boy. He doesn't lose out too much because of it, though. Sutty, because of all of that, has a 6.1 second lead out front with nearly halfway through this race. Daz then in the pits. Dennis hasn't. Neither did Kishanyika Hypertech or DJ Phil. So it's going to be interesting to see where Kelly will come out in relation to Daz.
Daz got back up in the spot.
Kelly was pretty close to the pit lane when he had his incident.
Yeah, he was. Let's see if Daz fixes any damage that he had on the car.
No, I don't believe he is. No. as Dan's took a 10th out of Sutty in the first sector and has started to pull away from Monkey Boy already. He's gapped Monkey Boy 7/10 of a second. Ben, talk us through that lunge though, because Monkey Boy really had to get out of that one.
Yeah, he has good reflexes because I don't think I could do the same. It was an interesting lunge from Daz though.
The move was on, would you say, or a bit too overambitious?
I think it was on the limits, on the top of the limits, because I don't think they would touch, even if Monkey Boy doesn't steer out of the way.
Well, Monkey Boy now has got Ginger Bush for company. Dan has gone, and Dan's took another half a second out of Sutty in the middle sector alone. But don't forget, the pit stops are going to happen. Sutty, we're hoping to hang on here for a race win, because he's not had many race wins. Monkey Boy comes into the pits. Sutty also into the pits. So the two Dynaco Racing boys are in the pit lane. Dennis Newman's coming in as well. Kishanyika stays out. What about Hypertech? Now, Daz come out. He's not a million miles away. I say he's not a million miles away from Kelly. He's about 2 corners in front of Kelly. The gap, 10 seconds. So Kelly could feed out in a nice place here.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how the race ebbs and flows.
As Monkey Boy has to deal with driving through that beautiful black and gold Jaguar to get to his pit box. Dennis Newman's nicely into the pit lane, and there you see the beautiful Jaeger Motorsport Bentley, and you can see the kind of roof of the SimPlay Motorsport safety car. Kishanyika was within 7/10 of Dennis Newman, but that was probably as he crossed the line. So Dennis, Monkey Boy, Hypertech's also in the pit lane as well. So Dennis, Monkey Boy, Sutty, and Hypertech all in the pits. Now Sutty's done. I thought this was a little quick on pit entry. Let's take a look, because he will not want to drive through penalty or a stop-go penalty, and he doesn't get one. So Sutty is done halfway through the race. Does Dan react now? Dan knows the undercut goes well here, Ben, based off of Monday night. Does he go for the overcut again?
It's a good question. I think I would pit, because it's a good risk here with the Hungary because the circuit is so short.
Well, Dennis jumped Monkey Boy in that pit stop as well, also, just to notice there. Dennis has got well in front of Monkey Boy as well. Hypertech comes out the pits. Daz has got past, and Kelly's got past. So Kelly has got ahead of Hypertech in the pit. So that bodes well for Kelly with the likes of DJ Phil as well. Dan's not in. Ginger Bush comes into the pits. He's got to get that slowed down. He does now. And he'll get that slowed down with plenty of time. Kishanyika is coming into the box as well. So we'll see where Kelly is in regards to Kishanyika. Kelly obviously looking to keep hold of his top 4 in the championship at the moment. Dennis Newman's not far behind him. And DJ Phil, who every time I see him drive, I feel like he's driving on the D-pad, stays out.
That is a very...
Lexus doesn't seem... sorry.
Yeah, it is a very...
Right, PM first, go.
It is a very D-pad movement by
it is.
DJ Phil's drive, and how the car's reacting. It's just literally all the steering in one go.
I agree. Ben?
Yeah, and I was about to say that the Lexus doesn't seem that fast here.
No,
and
it doesn't seem like
surprised.
The Lexus. Yeah, I'm quite surprised that the Lexus isn't that good around here. Now, Daz got jumped by Dennis Newman in the pits. So Daz been jumped by Dennis Newman after the pit stops. Dennis is 7.9 behind Sutty, so Dan's overcut here could really work. While he's got clean air, this could really be beneficial for Dan. Ginger Bush is now away. Sutty's gone through. Dennis, will he go through? We're looking for that Porsche, that orange Porsche, popping up to the right-hand side of your screen. There it is. We'll go on board Daz. And Ginger Bush actually breaking into turn 1. Will stay.
It's close.
Yeah, he will stay just ahead of Dennis Newman. That's a good pit stop for Ginger Bush.
And unlike in GT4s, where Smokey turned in on the car exit in pit lane, Dennis gave Ginger Bush a wide berth.
He did indeed. Right then. So, Daz now behind Ginger Bush and behind Dennis Newman, and he was ahead of both of them before the pits. Kishanyika is behind Monkey Boy, so Monkey Boy got ahead of him, and Kelly can see Monkey Boy and Kishanyika, so Kelly can spot another 2 places here, but it is still Unorthodox who carries on his way with 7 minutes 15 left. Dan is definitely going for this overcut, and DJ Phil comes into the pits now.
Yeah.
But we're watching DJ Phil's teammate, Dennis Newman, on the back in this middle sector. Ben, a very twisty, tight middle sector. He's on the back of the Porsche. The dirty air, he's not going to be doing that Honda any favours.
Yeah, I think excluding the Bathurst, it's one of the most technical middle sectors and unblocked sectors of the calendar.
Yeah, I agree. As Dennis Newman now still right on the back, and that while Ginger Bush is holding up Dennis Newman, that's going to bring Daz Automatic in. Monkey Boy's a bit further back, and Kelly's got within 1.6 of Kishanyika here, so Kelly looking like he could try and close that gap down, but Dennis at the minute looking to make a move on Ginger Bush here. They're all going to get past DJ Phil. This is going to be interesting for Hypertech on Phil. Hypertech's coming into the third to last corner. Now, if you're exiting the penultimate corner before that goes green, 9 times out of 10 you should get past. Hypertech is exiting that corner now, and Phil has just gone green. But for Phil, he's halfway down the pit lane. Hypertech now exits the final corner, and is now going to be full throttle. Now, this is where you're going to keep your eyes on the screen for DJ Phil appearing from the pit exit. He's off the limiter now. Where does he appear? He's actually well ahead of Hypertech going down into turn 1. So that stays as it is. Dennis Newman, though, right on the back now of Ginger Bush. Sooty second. Dan, I think you've just said it. Ben is in the pits.
Yeah.
So this will be where Sooty Apex will want to push to make sure he can get, even if he's in the lead just ahead of Dan, he'll want to be in that lead, that is for sure. Great to see Sooty back, though, and great to see Sooty on the podium, showing how good his pace is.
Indeed. He's probably been drinking a few, because... what was it we were doing in Discord earlier? We were comparing
We was
SimPlay
comparing
drivers to
Formula 1 drivers to SimPlay drivers.
It was Schumacher, but Michael.
Yeah.
Easily.
The Michael.
I was one Pablo Montoya because of my temper. So yeah, that was fun.
Dan's down. This is
Dan
going to be
now.
close.
Yeah, Dan's away. Sooty Apex coming down. Dan's only off the limiter now. Sooty's coming halfway down. There you see Dan appear, and Dan is going to have that one covered. So Sooty just didn't do enough. And Dan the overcut, absolutely working an absolute peach there. So Dan is on for another race win here.
Yeah, Dan did very well with that. For the overcut to work.
Yeah, he did. He's Hypertech's gaining on the back of DJ Phil. They're looking to try and make a few places on each other. Dennis Newman still stuck to the back of Ginger Bush at the moment. Daz has actually lost time to Dennis and Ginger Bush here. Kelly's within 1.4 of Kishanyika. So Kelly's slowly creeping on the back of Kishanyika. But Dennis the closest to Ginger Bush, and Hypertech, well, he was close to DJ Phil. He's no longer close to DJ Phil anymore. Dennis very, very wide through there. Right, Dan. Daz, 1 track limit cut. Dan, 1 track limit cut. Hypertech has had none. Monkey Boy has had none. So we're watching. We're looking.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Monkey Boy went a little bit wide. In turn 5.
It's not allowed Kishanyika to get massively close though, and Kelly's not got close. Kelly's not got close enough to Kishanyika either. They've lost a bit of time together.
But it could be a scrap between these 3.
Yeah, could be a nice little battle
Maybe.
with 3 minutes to go. Ginger Bush doing a fantastic job here on the podium at the minute to hold off Dennis Newman.
He is, and he hasn't been with us for at least a couple of weeks, haven't he?
Yeah, he's missed the last 2, I believe, because of work.
But it's good to see Ginger Bush back in the Porsche, and Porsche definitely deserve a place in any endurance race.
Yes.
Because you think of Le Mans and Daytona 24 Hours, there's always a Porsche, at least one.
Yeah.
Whether it's in the the GTP prototypes or the LMDHs or GTs, there's always a Porsche.
Dennis there, I've just noticed last couple of times, has just run a bit wide on the exit corners as Hypertech's now on the back of DJ Phil. Ooh. So for Dennis, he's now got to be a bit cautious of these track limits that he's possibly taking. Kishanyika's got the gap down to 1.7 to Monkey. Kelly's losing out to M2. Dennis all over the back of Ginger Bush, but Hypertech here, he's going to pull to the inside line on DJ Phil. Ferrari versus Honda. Ferrari steams up the inside. Can he be early enough on the brakes to get it stopped? He's ran a little deep, but he looks like he's going to get the move done. A little wiggle on the exit. Phil's now going to try and come back at him. Just goes onto the grass a little bit there, does DJ Phil. They're still side by side. Hypertech, though, going out of the inside line. Oh, and Phil just turns in on him a little bit there.
Yeah, I just saw that as well. Phil was waiting, kind of. As I was about to say the lead gap was coming down, but Dan just pulled half a second in the sector.
Yeah, so it may have come down because of the fact that his tyres were taking a while to get up to pressure. And now Dan is going to more than likely win this race with 1 lap to go. We're coming towards the end of the race, so everybody voted on Orthodox. To be fair, they said that he was going to win. Such Apex got the second most amount of votes. Well, rightly so. In terms of his championship rivals, he's going to massively lose out to Daz is going to massively lose out to Dan here. Dan, who will after today be the at the moment is the most successful driver at the Hungaroring. 2 race wins here, and after today, because he won here in the Retia last year, he's going to win race 1 here in the Audi. Dennis just cannot do anything about that Porsche.
It's like the Honda's running out of grunt. This does not bode well for Mike and Palava tomorrow in Pro.
Hypertech's got back ahead. DJ Phil's got back ahead of Hypertech. Hypertech's now going to look up the inside, backs out of that one. It does, doesn't it? Yeah, it just feels like... Ben, which car around here would you say would be the more favoured car?
Well, the Audi. But the Bentley is not that far away from the Audi space, because Suti Apex is not that far away from them.
I don't know. There was one Bentley that kind of struggled yesterday.
Yeah.
Hypertech's looking to the inside line of DJ Phil. Late on the brakes again. He goes a little deep. Looks like he's got this one done a bit more. Does he now? Yeah, he doesn't have the wiggle on the exits. That gives him the traction he needs, and he pulls off from DJ Phil. So that'll be move complete. Dennis Newman running out of time to get this one done. And middle sector, Dennis just took so much out of Suti Apex. And he's coming up to the penultimate corner now. It is going to be 6 wins from 7. Good evening to Ian McKizzle in the chat. But it is going to be, yet again, another race win for an Orthodubs 16. He rounds the final corner now. And he's going to be on Orthodubs, who will win race 1 of the evening. Fantastic result, though, to Suti Apex, who comes home to win race 2. To get second place, sorry. That is fantastic. Ginger Bush crosses the line for a great P3. Dennis Newman will be P4 after all of that. Daz Automatic just did not have the pace in this one for P5. Monkey Boy, great to see him back. Looks like he's going to get a good result. That is P6 for him. Kishanyika just didn't have the pace in this one. That is only P7. KLF will finish P8. And then we'll wait for Hypertech and DJ Phil to get to line. And it is Hypertech who currently has that place over. But Dan there, the clear strategy to go longer and get the overcut. What a treat then.
Yeah, the overcut actually worked. And for everyone who did that.
So Hypertech comes to the line. That is going to be P8 for him, and it is going to, P9 for him, and it is going to be P10 for DJ Phil. We will be right back in a few moments' time. Don't go anywhere.
Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. all in when I show up. Whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watch me elevate. I was born and when I watch me elevate.
Broken dreams in my pocket. Golden thing round my neck like a locket. Carve your name in my mind, cause you caught it. You caught it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine just so that I could show you. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. Golden. Lay on the carpet, eye to eye, glistening. No, I saw it. I saw it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine just so that I could show you. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. Golden. You're golden. Yeah, you're golden. You know it. Yeah, you're glowing. Golden.
and gentlemen, and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport here for the second race of the evening at the Hungaroring. It is Daz Automatic who was left to go on track first. The championship lead then in the manufacturers, the battle for Bentley and Audi. Audi have closed the gap by 5 points. The gap is 66 points now. Bentley lead by from Audi. Ferrari second place, only 2 points clear of McLaren. But Leon Fernie has now came to the party, so he is here to play in this one. Honda 20 points behind McLaren, but more Hondas on track tomorrow night. That could bode well for them. Porsche sitting P5. They've jumped Lexus by 6 points. Aston Martin 1 point ahead of Jag and 4 points ahead of BMW. With no Aston Martins on the grid tonight from Noza, that then does not bode well for the Aston Martin tomorrow night, because Nexus, even if he comes last, will still score at least 1 point. Well done, Nexus. The Constructors' Championship, Audio Sport, we may as well give them the trophy now. 177 points clear of KD Racing and 179 clear of the Switchback Racing Team. The Greasy Bandit boys, they are 13 behind the Switchback Racing Team, with the worst pace scenario a little further back from them. Dynaco Racing P6, but only 6 points off the back of worst pace scenario. Barry the Cat, well, Barry the Cat has gone missing, and its 9 lives are nearly up for both drivers, as they haven't been here since week 1. Drivers' Championship, Unorthodox, 80 points clear. Well, we may as well give him Donington Park off. He doesn't like British circuits, so we may as well take it off. Daz Automatic is P2, with Kishenyika running in 3rd place, only 11 points off the back of Daz Automatic. Dennis Newman is 15 behind him. He's down in P4. He leapfrogs KLF. KLF 3 points behind Dennis. Sooty Apex moves into 6th place, 22 points behind KLF, with Ant in P7. Noses P8. Hypertech moves up into 9th place, with Sekulovic 10th. Gingerbush catapults himself into 11th place. Ahead of our other ginger man, Bryn, is P12. DJ Phil is P13, with Monkey Boy up to 14th place, not far off the back of DJ Phil Green. Before Shoemaker, Just Gaming Real, Lucas Roth, Leon Fernie, Max Mulder, and then our new driver who is away this week, but will be making his debut next time out. So that is your championships done. It is Audi's 77th race win. It is Unorthodox's 65th race win. Race 2 will signify this man's 50th race. And we can now speak with Sooty Apex, who, for the first time tonight, has got to go around and make sure he can interview while driving on the track. Last bit of business, though. DJ Phil Green has a qualifying ban, so will not be qualifying in this one. Kishenyika and Leon Fernie are currently in the pits, but they can qualify. Sooty, it was a fantastic race, that one. It was a really, really good race start. Talk us through it.
Yeah, had a good start. I seemed to be banging in good laps, and I thought, right, I need to pit. Try and undercut Dan, because I seen him coming. I knew he had more pace than me, but unfortunately, he had a couple of poor out laps, and he got ahead.
Couple of poor out laps and got ahead. It, like you say, though, demon start, fifth to first. Pace of the Bentley good?
Yeah, it seems good. It's planted. The setup I've got was working pretty well, just apart from pressures on the second stint. Other than that, I'm happy.
What can you do in race 2, Sooty? Obviously, a bit of a trickier one this time, seeing as you've got to qualify now. What's your goals?
Hopefully get somewhere near where I did in race 1, but we'll have to see.
Catapulting yourself up the championship. You're now P6. Obviously, going to try and close the gap on your former teammate.
Yeah, I'd like to. I'd like to get Kelly.
Well, James Hunt, it's been a pleasure. We wish you the best luck in race 2.
Cheers, man. Thanks, boys.
And now we're joined by race winner, 65 times a race winner at SimPlay Motorsport. Dan, you managed to get a race win Monday night. You managed to get a race win in race 1 tonight. You seem to be enjoying the Hungaroring, considering that's your 3rd race win after you won here in the Retia. Miss it. Missed the Challenger Pro, but you've got to do the challenge, that's in front of you, and that is the challenge of winning races, I suppose, this year. And I'm going to say it now, but 6 wins in 7. Fury's record of 13 seems on here. Yeah. Drivers out there that can give you a headache. Obviously, you're trying to qualify at the minute. You're 7/10 clear of Daz Automatic. You had a good fight with Ginger Bush in this first race, though, early on. Might keep an eye on that Porsche later on. Well, Dan, congratulations, race 2. What can you do from probably pole position? Yeah. Score points, score points, score points. Reminiscent of Lance Stroll signing for Daddy's team. Just without scoring points. You're doing the opposite. Yeah. Yeah. Lance and Lawrence, we know you're big time followers of SimPlay Motorsport. Evening, good welcome. Yeah. That's a massive Kelly line, that is. He rubbed off on me in his time as Dennis Newman has gone to provisional second place at the moment. Dan, we'll let you get back to it. Best of luck, race 2.
Cheers, man. Same to you, buddy.
So then, fellas, seems like Sutty and Dan both happy with that qualifying session.
Race. Yeah.
That race session. Dan's going to be over the moon with this qualifying session. But either way, everybody's happy.
So far.
Yeah.
Well, of the drivers who have heard from that are relatively happy, apart from Kelly.
So currently watching Daz as Sutty Apex comes to the line and improves to go P4. He's only 4th a second off the back of Daz now. 271's coming to the line. That is going to be Dennis Newman. Dan's returned to the pit lane. Hypertech's had another moment. So Hypertech at the moment not yet going to get a lap on the board here. And that's not really what he'll be wanting to do, is it?
Not really, no. One thing I've noticed since the 3 seasons of doing this, I'm getting progressively faster, but so is everyone else.
Yeah. Here comes Dennis Newman towards the line. Any improvement on his lap time? No. Monkey Boy will be the next man. 1.7 off the pace at the moment. Does he find any more pace in his Bentley? Monkey Boy, who did very well there until he had to avoid a dive bomb by Daz there. Ben, it was a good race for Monkey Boy. He sat second at the time.
Yeah, it was a good race for Monkey Boy indeed, but that dive bomb was interesting.
It was very interesting indeed. Monkey Boy crosses line, still 1.7 off the back. 777. That is Kishanyika on home soil. Took pole Monday night. 1.9 off the pace. That Lexus just doesn't... You said it in race 1, Ben. It just doesn't seem to have anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Daz to the line. No improvement for Daz. Sorry, Ben, go on.
Like, the time Dan found, like, he's almost a second away. It's just mind-blowing.
Yeah, it is indeed. Right, Dan is actually sitting on the pit exit. Is he thinking of giving Kelly a little bit of a slipstream down the main straight on the next lap? Dan has just come out of the pits, but I noticed was hovering for Kelly to come round the final corner. Could this be tactics for their drivers? The next car will be Ginger Bush to complete lap. Everybody is pretty much in Sector 1 and just starting Sector 2. It's going to be interesting to see this is.
It is indeed, as Dan actually slots behind his father.
Ah, there we go then. There we go. So not giving him the slipstream like we expected. He slotted in behind Kelly. In fact, he's on a slow outlap. Sutty's on an outlap as well. Bentley now need 6 podiums. They also need 6 race starts. They'll get 2 of them race starts this afternoon. So I don't think Bentley will get 6 podiums tomorrow unless Shane is with us, as well as Overtaker and myself, which means we need provided Sutty gets a podium here, we need at least all Bentleys on the podium tomorrow night for that to be its 100th podium.
If you're on Tuesday and Donny.
Well, potentially, we never know at the moment, do we?
Well, it might help if one Bentley driver qualifies.
Obviously, now we've got the new Lamborghini and the new Honda, and Dan licking his McLaren. No guarantees that a Bentley will be on the podium.
Bentley and got to be another
there
Bentley.
There is another Bentley in, but we don't know where he's going to line up, do we? At the minute, we'll have to just wait and see. Right, drivers coming across the line. Hypertech gets a lap on the board. Car 35, that's Daz. Now goes back into second place as Ginger Bush went up to third. So Daz gets himself up into second place, but is 8/10 off the back of Unorthodox at the moment. There's Kelly now into the final corner. And that isn't the quickest way around the final corner.
So he's a bit slidey through the penultimate corner.
Yeah, he's on an invalid lap at the moment. He's on an out lap as he's Unorthodox. Daz has pitted. 3.5 minutes left to go. Next car on a flying lap. 777. That'll be Kishanyika. Tip for race 2 winner? Now, because Dan may have to go for a phone call from the hospital, so...
Oh.
Obviously, that we know about that. And,
yeah. Well, I think he'll only return to the pits. I don't think he'll quit. He'll return to the pit lane. One thing to note as well, that's Sutty Apex's 43rd podium. So it's 7 behind that of Kieran Argent, who we haven't had this season. So that'll be an interesting one to see if he can get a podium there. Dan's going for pole position number 40. Not had a pole position in GT4 yet, has Dan?
No, there's either been a Fury or a Kisranica in a while.
Or Gary.
Or a Gary.
Gary took one at Kyle Army. So yeah, nothing for Dan there. But he's looking for pole tonight. Dan, though, 65 race wins. Looks like he's probably going to be the first man to get to that 100 win mile,
It does, yeah. Well, he's about to do the best number. Wins if he wins this race.
66.
So, time to execute Order 66. And I've just killed all the Jedi.
DJ Phil, next week, race 1 of GT3s. He obviously can't qualify in this one. Will be his 300th race start in GT4s next week. What a massive achievement for DJ Phil.
Well, he races
that's
everything. But Phil races everything we do at SimPlay.
Yeah.
Phil's on the grid.
But the thing is, as well, is we know he's got the qualifying ban for a retirement last year. How many times in them 300 has Phil retired?
Not many, apart from if you crashed out in the old F1 games.
Oh, yeah, in the old F1. But he's always finished every race he's been a part of, and that's really what Phil sets a standard of. Look, no matter how bad United is, get to the end of the race.
The regime of never give up.
Yeah. Ben, 300 races, that's a massive achievement for DJ Phil.
Yeah, it is.
Where is Ben? Ben is on. You're on 38.
Yeah, I'm closing on to have my 50th.
Yeah. So tomorrow night you'll be tied with Aidan Bennett and Forsey. Next week you'll go above them. You'll go above Deeks, and you'll be tied with JM Grill and Craig E. 3 weeks time you'll be tied with Alfie. Yeah, you'll be on your 50th. I think Nürburgring will be your 50th race of the season, if I'm right.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
What is there left with Hungaroring? The last race in Misano will be your 50th.
Oh, the special track of mine.
Special track of yours in a Jaguar.
The only pole position I had here.
Yeah, it is the only pole position, and your only race win was a Spa 2.4 hours. So there you go. Yeah. Your only pole position, you can get it again in the Jaguar. Win the race in the Jaguar. Lovely.
No. Do GT4's big. There's a KTM for sale.
Dan to the line finds even more time. He's gone and done a 44 2 then. Sutty Apex needs only a couple of hundredths to get himself. He's gone P2. That's a great lap. Daz Automatic can only respond for P3. So a fantastic lap. Monkey Boy and Ginger Bush are on final laps, but Sutty Apex right at the end has stolen a position from Daz.
Yes, and brilliant lap by the Bentley.
Fantastic lap by the Bentley there then. So Leon Fernie will go from 11th, Phil will go from 10th, Hypertech 9th, KLF will go from 8th place. And then we're waiting Monkey Boy, who's on a current flying lap. Ginger Bush will finish his lap. He only needs 2 tenths to get ahead of Sooty Apex.
That's a massive gap, really, in qualifying, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And plus, that's another extra pole position point for Dan.
It is another point for Dan. But you know, Dan may miss a bit of the race. Here comes Ginger Bush. Can he improve on his lap time? He can. He goes P2.
P2.
So it's another one who drops Daz down another position. But it's a long old start line, a good slipstream. We saw Sooty go from 5th to 1st by turn 1. It's doable.
Yeah.
I can't imagine where Sooty's want to get starting P3 this time.
Monkey Boy
P6.
improves, so he knocks Kishanyika down to 7th place, and Monkey Boy improves there. And the last one to complete a lap is Dan. Can Dan break into that 43s? That's going to be the biggest question on everybody's faces. Dennis Newman lines up P5, Monkey Boy up to 6th, and Sooty Apex P3. Ginger Bush, Dan said that Ginger Bush challenged him here. Well, he could challenge him into turn 1. Here comes Unorthodox to the line and improves again, but he doesn't get into them 43s. The question for Dan is now, can he do this whole race?
That is the question.
I think he can.
Provided the hospital doesn't ring, I'd imagine that Dan should be the winner of this. But yeah, if the hospital ring, Dan's going to have to return to the pits, and it's not going to be race win that he needed. But obviously, need to take C-Fan calls.
Especially important ones like that from the hospital.
Exactly. Right, race 2 winner, PM.
If you can make the end of the race, Dan. If not, I'm going to say Ginger Bush. That Porsche looks really good as your Bentley's eating that and I've eaten Dan's Audi.
Ben, race winner.
Yeah, Sooty.
I'm going to say Dan if he makes the race. And I'm going to then say Daz if Dan can't finish the race.
Yeah. If Sooty tries the overcut.
So, I mean, Sooty could send it into turn 1, hold no prisoners.
Or,
and just dive bomb everybody and then be the world's biggest Bentley.
Yeah.
It's not hard to be the world's biggest.
No,
Bentley,
it's not.
let's face it.
Only time will tell. Well, Unorthodox has 3 race wins to his name and now a pole position. So he is by far the most successful driver here at Hungaroring. Well, at SimPlay Motorsport, but at SimPlay Motorsport at the Hungaroring. I'm on that list. Everybody else has just got either a pole position or a race win to their names. I'm one of them. Daz's, Danlick, Doctor Who, Ripper, Dennis Newman, Kishanyika, Boss Soft, Overtaker, Killer Camel, Smoky Devil, Exist Tibbs. So, you know, interesting to see.
Come on, Leon, blow. Begin. Leon, begin. Leon's not
Leon.
moving.
Well, he's readied up.
Well, that's interesting.
That
Because-
car's got to be solid when they come round if it doesn't move.
I wonder if he's having wheel problems.
Or that strange glitch that I had back in Paul Ricard last season.
Because he didn't come out in qualifying.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if he doesn't realise to go to... Leon, if you're listening to the stream, go to options and make sure that your steering wheel has got the green line underneath it on your steering wheel settings. It may have loaded up on the... It may have like registered his pad and not his wheel. So if you go to options and go to steering wheel...
Oh, he's going now.
Oh, there we go. So he sorted it. Brilliant. Good to see. Well, he's got a long way to catch up. Where are these? These are coming up towards turn 4. Well, he's actually now stopped. He's moved off the line and stopped. Well,
It's still got a hardware failure, don't it?
yeah, something doesn't seem right about that.
Or at least he's moving again.
And no, he's moving again.
And stopping, I guess.
Then it's more likely a hardware failure.
That definitely looked like
Oh,
wheel
he's moving
failure.
again.
If push comes to shove, just use the controller.
Hey, it's
He's
points.
moving.
It's points at the end of the day, isn't it? It's not going to matter
Yeah,
what
just
points you get. It's points at the end of the day, and you know when you're down that bottom end of the championship, possibly looking at relegation to AM, depending on what happens in the new year because of these
This.
broadcasting issues. Then yeah, let's see
Well,
what
we'll see.
happens.
It looks like D-pad movement, so maybe he's switched.
Do you want to say what the races that came out of the hat for the possible PS5?
Oh,
All the time with that.
for what we're going to say for
PS5, yeah.
right. So, what we can announce is that on the, I think we've just got to confirm a date. There is going to be 5 PS5 races on a Sunday evening. Sign-ups will be going out very, very soon. And the tracks that got pulled out are 2 Italian and 3 British. Now, we used the fantastic Wheel of Names, and we put every single track on the Wheel of Names. And if you've watched my personal Twitch stream, you'll know the Wheel of Names for the Football Manager side of things. This fantastic little piece of kit. We'll be going to Monza, Imola, Snetterton, Donington, and Silverstone for a 5-race, 1-hour race calendar on the PS5 version. Details will be posted soon, and sign-ups will be going out as soon as possible. Hopefully by this weekend, sign-ups will be out for that. So if you're interested in signing up to that, make sure you keep your eyes on Discord and SimGrid for the announcement for that. But we're about to go racing here, boys, for the 8th round of the season. It is going to be green and go, and it's a good start from Unorthodox. And I'll tell you what, Sutty and Daz haven't really moved. Gingerbush has gone with him. Dennis Newman's not really gone either. But as they come down towards turn 1, Sutty's later on the brakes. He's looking up the inside. Gingerbush and Dan are going side by side here. Dan gets better traction out of the corner, but all have a little wiggle and a little moment. Sutty has a huge wiggle. Daz now looks like he's got an opportunity to go up the inside here. And up the inside, Daz goes a bit of a lunge. But I tell you what, he's got the move struck. That's a good move from Daz there.
Yeah, and Gina who's...
Oh, he's had a
really
moment!
good.
He's had a moment, he's hit the wall! I saw Dan's out there have a wiggle, he's had a moment, he's nearly collected Kelly. Hypertex gone around the outside. Steve Thompson saying Gingerbush for the win. And wow, that was an incredible moment there. Gingerbush is looking on the inside of Daz. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Ben. And cannot get the move done at turn 5. So Sutty's 3rd, Dennis 4th, Monkey Boy's 5th. No, Kishenika's 5th. Monkey Boy's just behind him. Dennis Newman, did he just tap the back of Sutty a little bit there? Dennis is now half on the grass. Kishenika's looking up the inside of Dennis Newman. Dennis Newman's looking around the outside of Monkey Boy. Great little scrap this between these 3. Monkey Boy could be looking involved on this. There he is in the background. But the top 2 have gone, and Gingerbush is putting that under some immense pressure.
Game on. Dan's wide.
Dan wide.
Dan's very wide, and this is giving Gingerbush the look down.
Gingerbush on the outside.
And if he can keep it round the inside, he'll have the inside for the next part of the corner. And I think Gingerbush is alongside Dan here. He is alongside. Gets on the brakes. He goes up the inside for the penultimate corner. Now can he cut in front of Dan? He doesn't need to cut in front of Dan because he's got the move done. Gingerbush leads this race. Dan is now staring at the back of his favourite car, the Porsche. And behind it, Sutty, Dennis, Kishenika and Monkey Boy, with Kelly sticking with Monkey Boy and Daz on the back of Kelly. What a start to this race. Leon Fernie, due to a poor outlap, is 15 seconds off the back, so he's got some work to do to catch up. But at the minute, it's Gingerbush Unorthodox from Sutty. And Sutty's actually took time out of Dan. This could help Sutty, Kishenika, Monkey Boy and Dennis gain on Dan if Dan gets caught up behind Gingerbush here, Ben.
Yeah, so the top 5 is really close. Maybe top 6. But Monkey Boy is a bit off, so we will have a good fight, I think.
We will have a good fight. Hypertech on the back of DJ Phil and Gingerbush now. As Ema Kids was saying, wasn't we talking about the Porsche today? We was, and I said it wasn't very good, but what do I know? Such Apex.
Would have...
Go on, sorry,
oh,
Pim.
Leon's on the curb. You don't want to do that. But he would have had the warmest tyres of everyone.
He would have had the warmest tyres of everyone because he was going a little quicker. Dan's bouncing over the curbs compared to the Bentley, although the Bentley has a bit of a wiggle as it clips the curb and nearly loses the rear. Sutty's now in this fight with Dan here.
Yes, game on.
Sutty closed in.
Sutty has closed in. Dennis hasn't gone with him. Kishanyika's sticking with Dennis. Monkey Boy's lost out there. Kelly's lost out to them all. And Daz, who's got DJ Phil catching him. Daz trying to get past Kelly at the moment. But the top 3, Sutty's lost a bit of time to Dan and Gingerbush down this middle sector. But the top three doing well here.
That's must have damage because he clattered the wall.
He hit the wall big time, yeah. Sutty just not able to stick with the top two at the moment. Dan looking on the back of Ginger Bush. How hard does Ginger Bush fight Dan here? Very hard, hopefully. Get Ginger Bush to get a race win. That'd be brilliant. Pit window doesn't open until 32.5 minutes. That Porsche, does it have the legs over the Audi? I'd say Dan's Audi's got a little bit more power than the Porsche as they hit the brake going down into turn one. Ginger Bush gets it stopped on the apex, gets it parked on the apex. Dan had to wait to get on the power there. And Sutty now has lost out to the top two once again. Dennis Newman starts reeling him in, but Kishenyika sticking to the back of Sutty apex at the minute.
Yep. Well, at least we've got 11 cars for this race.
We have got 11 cars for this race. Hypertech on the back of Phil as Daz looks around the outside of Kelly, looks to cut underneath. Can't do so at the minute.
So, Leon is slowly catching.
He's gaining on Phil and Hypertech. He is gaining on the pair of them. And Ben, what a battle out front at the minute. The top five separated by not a lot, really. And it's Dan who's putting Ginger Bush under pressure now. Dan feeling a bit of pressure today.
Dan's just tapped the back of Kelly.
Ooh, and I don't know if it was like that. Dan jumped a little bit higher.
Yeah, that was a little bit of... Yeah, that was, I don't know if that was lag. But Dan looks a little twitchy in this race.
Yeah.
He does. Oh, this is the closest he's had to follow a car.
Yeah. Does he know how the Audi reacts in the dirty air? Sutty's back within 9/10 of Dan. Dennis has lost out. Kishenyika can't stick with him. Monkey Boy's just in no man's land at the minute. He's not nowhere near Kishenyika and he's nowhere got Kelly behind. And Daz sends one again. Well, Daz likes to send one into that corner this time, though. Kelly doesn't need to change his line. Daz got the move done early. Hypertech is also past DJ Phil. And Leon Fernie now, 13.3, so he's coming. But it's Dan who's a little bit closer to Ginger Bush this time around down the start straight. Ginger Bush goes defensive. Sutty's watching on for this. Dan now goes back to the racing line. He's going to have to go the long way around Ginger Bush. Ginger Bush gets it parked on the apex. Absolutely beautifully. And Dan cannot get the switchback at all. Great work that from Ginger Bush. And all this fighting now is going to really bring Sutty apex into play.
All round the outside, baby.
No, not like that.
No, you know where to overtake round there. He sees him go to the outside. No, not there, Dan. Not there, Dan. Is he going to go the outside of turn 4? That is going to be an even braver move. And no, he puts on the brakes early and doesn't get that one done. And Dan just looks very slidey through there. The Bentley slowly starting to gain on the back of Ginger Bush and Unorthodox here. But Ginger Bush now, he's got 38 minutes to keep the championship leader and the 6-time champ at bay here. Dan running a lot of curve through the chicane. It bounces heavy through there. Here comes the Bentley. DJ Phil sticking to the back of Hypertech at the moment. Has Leon Fernie brought that gap down to DJ Phil? We'll see now. It's down to 11 seconds. We've pulled 2.3 seconds back here.
So Leon's got faith in the knacker.
He has. He has indeed. Daz has got past KLF, and so Daz is going to be after Monkey Boy.
Kelly's not a million miles behind.
He's not. No, he's not a million miles away. 1 second, just over a second. He was a bit wide there. 1.6 the gap now. But this is the interesting one for me. Dan, right up the rear bumper of Ginger Bush.
Yeah, and then he's closer again.
He has. Sutty's lost a bit of time. Dan's a little wider through that final corner. And I think that's actually ruined his momentum, look, because Ginger Bush manages to pull a bit of a gap over Dan through that final corner there.
Yep, Sutty's second off. Dennis is the second off Sutty. Kishenika's second and half. Daz wound in 2/10 on Monkey Boy. And Kelly's now 2 seconds behind Daz.
Yeah, DJ Phil still within... Oh, it's just gone over a second to Hypertech as DJ Phil. Leon Fernie, well, he's not even... I don't even think he's going to be 11 seconds behind now. He's around the final corner. Crosses the line. 10.4, so he's a lot closer. Dan, though, right on that rear bumper of Ginger Bush. He's going to look to the inside of turn 4 again. Brave move. If you're going to get that done, you've got to be alongside up the inside before that corner, really. And he's had a big wiggle there. How he's not put it in the wall, I don't know, but he's had a big moment there as Dan. And he still manages to be on the back of Ginger Bush. But Sutty, who just loses time through the middle sector, has once again clawed that gap back down.
That was very loosey-goosey then.
Very.
Yeah. Loosey-goosey.
all over the curbs in unorthodox here, and Dan really pushing this car hard. And the thing for Dan is he knows if he's got to pull over to the side of the road to answer a call or return to the garage, he doesn't want to lose too much time. Could Dan pull off track and, you know, possibly answer the phone for his call? It's going to be an interesting one to see. Either way, Kishanyuka's within 7/10 of Dennis Newman now. Sutty again, just through that middle sector, look, just loses that bit of time to Dan and Ginger Bush.
Yeah.
Some headsets, so you can actually buy where you have phone connectivity at the same time.
And Dan is really close again.
Dan is really close again, and he's going to look up that inside. When does Ginger Bush think of defending? He's parked it in the middle of the road at the minute. Ginger Bush doesn't come across now. He's opened the door for Dan. Dan's going to look up the inside of Ginger Bush. Ginger Bush turns in, as does Dan, pretty much side by side. And Dan this time gets the move done. Ginger Bush did not defend that. Not sure why, but he's been overtaken by Dan now. And now Dan already goes defensive. Does Ginger Bush look to send one back? No, he doesn't. But Dan's been a bit squirrely. All of a sudden, Ginger Bush doesn't defend one. Dan makes the move done.
Yep, that's a nice clean move, clean racing for Pro-Am.
Up the hill, you see Dan.
Ginger Bush.
Sorry, go on, Ben.
Yeah, maybe Ginger Bush realised that he doesn't want to lose that much time with fighting.
Yeah, possibly so. But he's now got Sutty Apex all over the back of him. So
Yeah.
Dan's starting to gap him already, and now Sutty Apex is catching.
But Dan hopped over the curb into the chicane.
The Audi doesn't like eating curves like that, then.
Like
Do you know what does he like eating curbs like that?
Yeah,
Bentley.
it's not a Bentley, it's an Audi.
Leo Fernie's got the gap under 10 seconds. He's now got the gap to 9.2. In fact, to DJ Phil, who's lost out to Hypertech. Kelly's lost out massively to Daz. That's 6.4 now, so I'm not sure what's happened to Kelly's McLaren. Kishanyuka within 9/10 of Dennis. But it is Sutty now, who's right on the back of Ginger Bush. Dan's just started to gap them out front, so Dan now looks like he's got his Audi under control and looks like it's in a good window at the moment.
Yeah, pit window opens in a couple of minutes' time. Who will go for the undercut? Who will go for the overcut?
Yeah, the overcut seemed to work race one. It's who's going to have recognised that and learnt that one to get the job done. Now Sutty goes down the start straight. He's not quite close enough to Ginger Bush. 7.5 tenths just under is the gap. But Sutty Apex now breaks hard into turn one. And he's still sat just behind Ginger Bush and unorthodox. Ginger Bush currently P2. But didn't defend Dan there. And Ben, was he right not to defend that? Or should he have kept that fight going?
Well, it's a 45-minute race, so I think it was a good decision. Maybe try and go for the overcut because it worked race one.
Possibly very squirrely now.
Dan's had a wiggle again coming through turn 4. Sorry, PN.
So is Ginger Bush coming through turn 4. He was very slidey. And while Sutty's Bentley looked well planted.
So Sutty's now within 4 tenths, although that's
He's
not
still
going to
red.
help. That's not going to help. Dennis Newman's eyes may have lit up, but Dennis Newman's nowhere near Sutty Apex, so just got too greedy on the curve there, did Sutty Apex. Dennis a little wide. Just looking on the streams I have next to me. Dan and Daz, no track limit warnings. Hypertech has 1, Monkey Boy has 1. So they are your track limit warnings for the drivers at the moment. Down the straight they go. Kishanyuka not close enough to Dennis. Monkey Boy in no man's land. Daz just hasn't had the pace tonight.
No. Well, and you know who? I think Leon's got good pace. If he qualified and made race start, it could have been a bit interesting with Leon up there.
Yeah, it could have indeed. He's definitely going to catch DJ Phil.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Easily.
And this doesn't help. Sorry, this helps McLaren, Ben, in the manufacturers.
Yeah, it will, and now the pit window is open.
Kelly's straight in.
Oh.
Good decision. Great decision from Kelly there for me.
Straight in. Hope the
And DJ Phil does it too.
Yeah, Phil nearly went straight on back over the pit line. But Leon had the gap down to 6.8, so Leon here goes long. He could be in for a treat. Right, gaps out front. They have all spaced out since Sutty's moment. And it's now a battle of who does what in the pit lane. So Hypertech moves into 8th place. Leon Fernie will move into 9th place because of the pit stops. DJ Phil's in his box, Kelly's in his box. Nice early stops. What can they do? Dennis Newman trying to get on the back of Sutty, who is losing out even more time now to Ginger Bush.
So he could be in that weird phase that Bentley often goes through in a stint where that's wide.
Daz on the back of Monkey Boy, and Daz is coming down to his corner where he's sent it a couple of times previously on Monkey Boy. So could we be in for another send it from Daz?
But it depends how much damage Daz Audi got, because he's definitely flattened the back.
Sooty went wide and Dennis is alongside.
Monkey's wide though. Is Daz going to try it around the outside into putting up the corner?
No, he's not. Sutty's boxed.
Sooty pits.
Dan out, Ginger Bush stays out, Sutty in, Dennis stays out, Kishanyika stays out, Monkey Boy stays out, as does Daz. So Sutty in, looking for that undercut. Kelly and DJ Phil are done. But Daz now looking to get past Monkey Boy. That's the next fight, really. That's the closest fight on the track at the minute.
But Bentley's definitely got... No, Bentley's got quite good legs.
Dennis went wide. At turn 1.
He did, and Kishanyika's trying to go around the outside on the brakes.
Nice move.
Oh, Dennis.
That was a big...
Dennis looked to come off the brakes a little earlier there to nearly clip the rear end of Kishanyika, and Kishanyika using all his experience of the Hungaroring to full advantage here.
But he jumps over the curve a bit.
Monkey Boy's now got 2 track limit strikes to his name, just to say. Hypertech still 1, Dan and Daz none to his name. So Monkey Boy's got to be careful here, and he's just coming under some pressure from Daz, as Hypertech pitted this lap as well.
Yep. Sutty's car's just been lowered, and he is away. Let's hope his tyre pressures work this time round.
Where's Kelly? Nowhere near. DJ Phil to Hypertech. That's going to be an interesting one. In fact, DJ Phil is being lapped by Unorthodox and Ginger Bush. So
and he's right off the road to get out of the way. Hadn't we been told that you shouldn't
What a
get off the
gentleman.
road?
no, I don't think he has. Not sure on that.
I think
Dennis.
it's in the rules. You don't go off the racetrack. You move over on the track still.
Fair enough. Dennis. Dennis looking on the back of Kishanyika. Kishanyika's in the box, so Dennis no longer on the back of Kishanyika. Daz on the back of Monkey Boy, but these two stay out. And did Hypertech get in front of KLF there? No.
Yes.
No.
No. There's a corner.
No, KLF is ahead.
Wish the timing board updated.
Oh, Monkey deep at turn 1. Daz is going to look up the inside, side by side. Bit of door banging there between the two of them. And Daz is going to have the outside line. Brakes later than Monkey Boy. Tries to tuck it in now. And Monkey has to get back on the brakes again as Daz chops the nose off Daz up into P4 at the moment because Kishanyika's in the pits. Leon Fernie now boxes. Oh, get that slowed down, and he has. Just in time. So Dan's now had traffic. He's now got the traffic of Hypertech coming up as well. So is this a time for Dan to really pit?
You see the traffic.
Maybe.
Logical. You don't want to be held up.
With Sooty Apex being out on track, Sooty's not yet hit the traffic. Sooty's down the start straight. Dan's already had to be a bit cautious of DJ Phil. He's now got Hypertech coming up in front of him. So is this a time where Dan thinks of boxing?
Yeah, he may, because Sooty has a nice and clear track ahead of him.
Well, it's not hurting him too much at the minute. I don't think he's close enough to Hypertech, but will he box? That's the question.
he
No,
doesn't.
stays out.
There's Ginger Bush.
No, Ginger Bush stays out as well. Leon Fernie's not yet been dropped, so DJ Phil may get him. Hypertech super slow down the start straight, indicating to the left-hand side. To the right-hand side. And away goes Hypertech now. DJ Phil may be close. Leon still not away yet. Monkey Boy's lost a second to Daz, so Daz has gone. But none of the top 5 pit. They all stay out for another run. 14 minutes left of the pit window. So they've still got plenty of time to go that long distance.
Yeah.
They have, and I think the longer you leave it, the more fresher tyres you have at the end of the race.
And
Although,
And by race 1, the overcut seemed to be the better option.
although it's not that hot there. The track temperature is one of the coolest we've seen all season, so it may take, even though they've got fresher tyres, it may take them longer to get the tyres up to pressure.
Well, that's another point.
If Leon was in the pits for a very long time.
He was.
Very long time. Maybe he's not got a clutch in there?
Well, something either way. Dan's next car ahead is Kelly, so he has got a bit of clear road at the moment. Kishanika 4 seconds behind Sutty. And Ginger Bush now fell to 3.4 behind Dan at the moment. So, Dan, who question marks over whether he'll finish this race due to a phone call from the hospital. So, he's going to stay out, I think, as long as possible here. And the thing for Dan is, if his phone rings when he's close to the pit lane, he could drive into the pits and do his pit stop while on the phone.
Yeah.
That's a good plan.
And is that possibly something that he's looking to do?
Possibly. You never know.
You know, if the phone starts ringing, you're coming up to the final corner box, get in the pits and, you know, go from there. Either way, Dan leads from Ginger Bush. Dennis Newman, he just doesn't look like he's had the pace today compared to Imola.
Honda don't seem so suited around here, does it?
No.
As Phil's now in front of Daz and getting the blue flags and he's letting through.
He has, yeah. And tucks back into the apex of the corner. So Daz is through. Monkey Boy also stayed out. So just noting again, the top 5 stayed out once more. And where's Dan on track? Coming up to the chicane. While Sutty's at the penultimate corner. So big gap behind. Sutty has started to pull away from Kishanika. Yeah, the Honda and Lexus tonight, Ben, they've just looked like they've struggled around here.
Yeah, Lexus doesn't seem to be fast here, unfortunately.
No, it doesn't at all. And down the start straight, everybody comes now. And what will they all do?
Well, Sutty's the highest non-pitter. Oh, pitter, I mean. And
yeah. I wonder if Dan is thinking, you know, go as long as I can. Hopefully that phone call comes in a box. Even if he has to stay in the pits a little longer, he doesn't have to pull to the side of the road, return to the pits, and you know, lose 2 minutes.
yeah. Because he's definitely dropped Ginger Bush now.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Even if he loses 4 or 5 seconds in the pit lane, you know, he's not good. Monkey Boy's in. If he loses 4 or 5 seconds in the pit lane while he's, you know, slowing his phone call, it's not massive time to the gap. He's got 3.6 to Ginger Bush. But then if he lost 4 or 5 seconds, he comes out 2-3 seconds behind Ginger Bush. It's not a massive amount of time.
No. Of course, Ginger Bush has the boxes yet as well, and as has Daz.
Yeah, so it's more we're looking. Yeah, but again, if Dan stays stationary for 5 or 6 extra seconds, Ginger Bush only 1.32 seconds ahead of him.
And we don't know how much damage Daz is carrying from the clatter with the wall on lap 1.
Yeah.
Cool, that's why.
True. This is true. Right, Leon Fernie is pretty much a sector behind DJ Phil here at the moment. Daz still not in the pits. Monkey Boy is. Sutty Apex will jump Monkey Boy, as will Kishanika. The big one then for Monkey Boy is Kelly. I think Monkey Boy should clear Kelly. Kishanika exits the final corner, so Kishanika will jump Monkey Boy. The question is Monkey Boy to KLF. Monkey Boy's now away. Kelly's only at the penultimate corner. Halfway through the race, Monkey Boy comes off the limiter any time now. And Kelly's only just exiting the final corner. So, yeah, Monkey Boy well in front of KLF. So, Kelly will stay P8. Monkey Boy drops down 2 places to 7th place. Dan stays out. Ginger Bush comes in. What about Dennis Newman and Daz Automatic? Dennis in. What does Daz fancy now? Daz in as well. Yeah.
Oh, that didn't want to turn.
Oh, that was nearly sliding into the side of the pit wall there.
You don't want to touch that wall.
No, you don't want to touch that wall. Daz, in.
Don't.
Right,
People
Sooty.
have hit pit wall.
People who've hit the
David
pit wall.
Coulthard.
Yeah,
David Coulthard.
me at
Adelaide,
Silverstone, season
1995.
1. When my pad died and I put it on charge and it took over my wheel. I was in the lead of the race.
Me
Silverstone.
in Azerbaijan. On the F1.
Sooty's now coming down to the final sector. It crosses the timing screen now. So we keep our eyes on Sooty in terms of Ginger Bush when Ginger Bush is dropped and away. And Ginger Bush is actually not a million miles away. Daz is actually the closest driver to that pit and pit limiter line. Sooty exits the penultimate corner.
Sooty
None of
won a
them
lot
have gone green.
time,
I
maybe?
think Sooty's jumped Ginger Bush here.
Yeah.
Ginger Bush is
Bush
now
is
away,
green.
and he's coming to that timing screen to the limiter marker now. Maybe not. Maybe Ginger Bush
should be
stays ahead of Sooty
Dennis is
Apex.
away.
But Sooty goes through. He's P3 provisionally once again. In fact, no, he's P3 once again. Kishanyika jumped Dennis Newman. No. Monkey Boy to jump Daz Automatic. No. Daz well out ahead of Monkey Boy. So gaps have been resumed. Dan now comes into the pit lane. So does Dan have a phone call? Does Dan feel like now's the time to pit? I'm going to react to Ginger Bush and everybody. Let's wait and see. Into the pits comes Dan on Orthodubs, and we'll watch Ginger Bush and see where he will be. Now this is where we have to wait and see if Dan takes a little longer in the pits than normal. Just looking at them track limit cuts again. They have all stayed as they are. So 2 for Monkey Boy, 1 for iProtect, 1 none for Daz, and none for Dan. And we're into the final 20 minutes of this race. It's not been the most thrilling of races, but it's a chance for Dan here to extend his gap in this championship, and a chance for Dan to do the business.
It is indeed. I've just got my stopwatch out to see how long Dan's pit stop is.
Well, he is stationary. I can see on his stream next to me that it is only a 30-second pit stop, but it's whether he stays stationary or not afterwards. Ginger Bush at the penultimate corner.
I'm watching
Round he
Ginger Bush.
comes. Dan's now away, but is he moving?
He's not moving.
No,
He's
he's
not moving. Right.
He is
Just now.
now.
He is now, and Ginger Bush exits the final corner. So was he just finishing on the phone, or was that just the fact of his pit stop took a little long? He took a little longer to get away.
But he's still ahead.
He's still ahead. Crucial thing is he's got Leon Fernie just in front of him, who's a back marker. So he could have pitted earlier and come out in that clear air where Sooty Apex was. He's now got Leon Fernie to deal with.
Yep, and
Oh!
Dan jinked.
Damn. Quad tires, hello.
Yeah, you see him weaving them to get them warm. It just didn't fancy turning into the corner there. And yes, he's got fresher tyres than Ginger Bush, but they're not up to the temperatures or pressures he would have wanted.
And the temperature went down 1
Yeah,
Celsius.
it's gone down another degree, yeah.
It's
So
25.
so Dan's got a little more work to do. Ginger Bush right on the back of Dan. Dan's
Ooh,
so
understeers.
tentative at the minute. And now Ginger Bush can possibly strike
Maybe
here.
into the chicane.
Come into
No.
the chicane. No, he didn't fancy it. Sooty Apex will be
Didn't work
seeing this
between
as
me and
well.
Barber.
Dan just looks very twitchy. Dan, and this is how it looked at the start of the race for Dan.
Yeah. And if Ginger Bush has a chance, it's now.
Oh, another wiggle.
Oh, he twitched
It is,
again.
yeah. If he wants to get through, the time to get through is this lap. Dan twitching all over the place. Little understeery through there. Down the back part of the
He's
circuit now.
defending.
Oh, he
He
defends.
goes defensive. Ginger Bush really catches under braking, and Dan's
and-
Audi. Oh, another
And the
moment.
switch, another.
Oh, and
and
a tap on the
Ginger
brakes.
Bush having a look.
And Ginger Bush goes up the inside, gets it stopped. Well, it's normally a thank you mama for the Ginsters, but it's not for Dan today, because he's had his pasty snatched off him, and the lead goes the way of Ginger Bush at the moment. And Sooty Apex might be licking his lips at this, because he might fancy an opportunity.
Aye, aye, aye.
1.6 seconds off the back of Dan.
Sooty isn't far away, so waving. Wow. Ginger
having
Bush
a
tried
look.
to break the slipstream. Ooh,
Oh, Dan!
it was a bit too much. It was a bit too much.
Went for the dive bomb, couldn't pull off the Sooty send it while the Master's watching from behind. And Dan
really
taps the side
rubbing
of
it
Ginger
down.
Bush.
Oh,
And
look
here
at
comes
Sooty.
Sooty.
It's now 3 for the lead into the last 16 minutes of this race, and this is fantastic to watch. Sutty just didn't get the traction out of the corner he'd have wanted. Dan struggling to get these tyres up to pressure and working, as he's now going to look up the inside of turn 4. You're not going to get it done there. And a lot of curve from Ginger Bush, Dan and Sutty. Get in the Porsche, says Gary131 in the chat. Great to hear from Gary, who'll be in the Porsche tomorrow night. And Dan, still a little twitchy here, there and everywhere. Sutty Apex must sniff a send it, but he's not going to get one done at this chicane. Here comes Sutty now. Needs a good exit and a good middle sector to stay on the back of these two going into sector 3, Ben.
Yeah, and did you know turn 4 actually has a name?
No.
We probably can't say it though, Ben.
Go on,
You
tell
can,
us the
but
name.
we can't.
Yeah, Mansa.
Oh,
It's
Mansell.
Mansa.
Oh, that's easy enough
And
to
you
say.
know why? I think you know why.
Go on.
Mansa had a really great comeback. Oh, I don't know which year in the 90s, in a Ferrari, and they just named that corner after him.
Oh, there we go then. Now, the other thing these drivers have to take into consideration is Leon Fernie is being blue flagged like crazy here, and Dan's looking up the inside of Ginger Bush into that final corner. We go back to Dan. Sutty Apex is just behind them. They all go a little wide bar Sutty at the final corner. Bonus for Ginger Bush is he's going to be getting that slipstream from Leon Fernie, so Dan's slipstream's kind of null and void at the moment. Down the start straight they come. Sutty lost a little bit in that last sector into turn 1. Leon Fernie is still there.
He's still there, and he's had more than at least 2 or 3 marshal posts now. There's another one.
So Ginger Bush
Another thing.
from Dan. Go on.
Daz has gone off pace again. He's now 10 seconds behind Seneca.
And Monkey Boy's only within 4 seconds of him, so he's just not had the pace. Dan looking each way till Sunday on the back of Ginger Bush. A lot of curb again there for Dan. Just cannot get this move done. He's looking at turn 5, but it is just a look for unorthodox. He's putting pressure on Ginger Bush at the moment. Cannot get it done. Leon Fernie is becoming a little bit of a nuisance for Ginger Bush. He's off the track. He stops the car. Probably the best thing for Leon Fernie to do there.
Yeah, but that was a very long time before he moved out of the way.
Oh, Dan bounces over the curb. His Audi just doesn't look great.
I'll tell you what, the
Yeah.
best thing to watch is Sutty, from Sutty's POV right now.
Agreed.
Well, we're on board with Sutty. Dan
You can see
comes
both of them.
3 corners from the end. 14 minutes, 15 seconds remaining on the clock. So Ginger Bush, he's done it once. He's got to hold Dan up for a long time. Ginger Bush needs to back Dan into Sutty and let Sutty attack Dan here.
Yeah, but the power of the Audi comes in
Yeah.
as soon as we round this corner.
Well, Dan really close to Ginger Bush now, gets a good exit on that final corner. And now Dan looks to attack Ginger Bush. Now Ginger Bush goes defensive. He's made his one move. He comes back across. That's probably a little earlier than what he'd have wanted to come back across into the braking zone. Dan tries to brake later, look up the inside, can't get it done. Ginger Bush every time gets it parked on the apex. An absolute peach. Great driving this from Ginger Bush.
And as Eva Kizzle asked him if he's a new driver, no, he did AM last season.
Yeah, no, in Am last season, he was a fantastic driver there. He's in Pro-Am now, and he did week 1. I think he's had to miss the last 2 because of work.
He's here this week. I'm putting on a hell
He
of
is
a
putting
show,
on a heck
isn't
of a
it?
show. 3rd place race 1. He's currently leading this one and is defending the champ. A lot of curb from both of them. They both a little slow on exit, and Sutty's just not close enough to 1, take the pressure off Ginger Bush, and 2, capitalise on the mistakes that they're both making.
No, he didn't. But this is a fantastic battle.
Ben, it was Dan's
Yeah.
it is a fantastic battle. Ben, it was Dan's mistakes last week at Imola, race 2, that cost him a race win at the very end. Well, Sutty's call creeping on the back of Dan here for a 3rd place at the minute.
Yeah, there is a chance that Dan may make a mistake, but let's just watch this fight.
Pit window is now closed. Everybody is pitted. Dan's gone to look around the outside. Ginger Bush is just in front of Dan, but he's left that door open for unorthodox. The Porsche looks like it's a little better than the Audi on its brakes. Can Ginger Bush get the power down? He can. Is Ginger Bush going to be alongside Dan here,
Nah,
going
he
into
has
the
the inside.
final corner? Dan is so wide. He's nearly in another country.
Sutty.
And now he gets a better run. But is he going to get a better run? He does. They're side by side. Sooty Apex can get a double slipstream here pretty much. And now that big hole being punched in the air. Dan versus Ginger Bush. Ginger Bush will have the inside line going into turn 1. Who breaks the latest? It's Ginger Bush who breaks the latest. Sooty Apex tucking underneath Dan, is he? He's going to look to tuck underneath Dan now. Ginger Bush is back in the lead of this race. Here comes Sooty. Cannot count him out of anything yet. Dan looking each way, left and right to get past Ginger Bush. Can't do it at turn 2. And Sooty has to yield and wait for the time PN.
He does. Well, this is fantastic.
It is.
What a race for the lead. I think I know my driver of the day regardless.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
In fact,
I think
there's
heads of,
probably 2.
I think heads of this is the best racing I'm seeing, and I have ever seen at the Hungaroring, ever.
Fantastic racing. It's Dennis 2.7. He's now stuck behind Leon Fernie at the minute. Kishanika's 2.8 behind. Daz has just gone off the pace, 11 seconds behind now. Monkey Boy's not near him.
Daz is wide.
Dan is wide.
Dan
went really wide.
So Dan's wide. That's took the pressure off of Ginger Bush. Sooty Apex is now 3rd. Kelly's in 8th, by the way. Hypertex 9th. DJ Phil's 10th. And Leon Fernie 11th place. We go back to Sooty then. As Dan's had a little moment, now Ginger Bush can have a bit of breathing space and a bit of time to focus up and regroup. But Sooty's just not close off. That middle sector for Sooty is what's killing him in this race.
That's not a Bentley sector, is it? That middle sector.
Yeah, it is not.
It's too heavy. It's too big of a car to get through that middle sector. Now you see the closing speed in them longer corners that Dan closes down to Ginger Bush. And once again, Dan, within about 5/10, 6/10 of a second of Ginger Bush as they're going to get to the line. But that is still enough for Ginger Bush to have that bit of breathing space. Look, Sooty lost half a second to Dan in that final sector alone. Just cannot stay close enough to the front 2.
No. As someone's mic just came out for the sound of things.
I just muted mine while I was coughing.
Is that? I don't know what's happened to Daz.
Yeah,
The pace is just gone.
10 seconds off.
He's got the pace,
Kishanika.
but
The pace is just gone.
Wrong
was that
pushes,
a
maybe?
twitch from Dan there? Yeah, possibly so. I'm just looking at his stream now. His pressures are all in a good window, but did he not repair damage when he pitted? Track limits 2
Maybe.
for Hypertech, 2 for Monkey Boy. Dan is now right once again on the back of Ginger Bush. Ginger Bush will be really hoping that Sooty starts to stay with Dan and starts to put Dan under that little bit of pressure. Sooty would love a win. Dan all over the curbs there. He's
Sooty missed
not
the chicane a bit.
wide this time. Sooty missed the chicane, Ben, sorry.
A little
Yeah,
bit, he took a wrong line.
Well, that's not going to help him in terms of sticking to the back of an Orthodubs here. I'm just looking at an Orthodubs' pressures. They all seem fine. Right side tyres look a little lower than the lefts, but Dan's pressures don't look too bad. But his Audi, Dan's obviously seems like he has a planted Audi when it's in clean air, but when it's in dirty air, the Audi looks very twitchy.
Yeah, the Audi doesn't like dirty air. I can tell that.
Oh yeah, you an Audi driver of 2 seasons. Dan now on the back of Hypertech, and round the penultimate corner he goes. He's got 8 minutes 45 seconds. There's not many laps left in this race. As Ginger Bush now has got Dan sat right on his rear bumper. Sooty's now 2.4 off the back, so Sooty started to lose some time here. And Ginger Bush goes defensive now. Stay there a
Really
little longer.
aggressive.
He's come back across pretty much straight away. Dan could look up the inside here. He brakes earlier than Ginger Bush, so Ginger Bush looks like he can do Dan on the brakes.
yeah, who would have thought the Porsche, like, in this game, as twitchy as anything,
Yeah.
unless you really set it up right.
And we're sat here talking about Dan being really twitchy in the Audi.
Jay's just said in YouTube chat, Daz is not repairing damage it, and it's really costing him.
Yeah, and you can tell it's costing him. Monkey Boy's now within 3.7 to Daz Automatic, and there goes Ginger Bush.
Wide, slightly.
Little white, yeah, it's not going to cost him too much. So Sooty's now 2.9 off the back of these two. So Sooty has just dropped off here.
Is the
Yeah.
Bentley in that phase again?
Potentially so, but
probably.
he doesn't want it to be in that phase with only 7.5 minutes left on the clock.
No.
And
Another car that does
there's
that, the
also
M4 GT3.
and there's also losing about a second in a lap from Kishanika.
Gary in the chat, this must be bringing back memories for Dan, sitting behind a Porsche for so long. Great defensive drive, Ginger, says Gary in the chat. It's big compliments for Gary back in his Porsche days on Project Cars 2. And I'm sure Gary will be liking the scenes of this. Gary might be texting Ginger Bush for his setup for tomorrow night. There's not a bad shout, Gary. Good results, so at MLS. It carried the team last week while I was away.
Good indeed.
Yeah, and Gary's P3 in the standings.
Now I was going to say that Ginger Bush was a little wide there, but Dan seemed to have a slide coming into the corner. He is P3 in the standings, Ben. Mike's gone up to P4. I've dropped down to 5th. But here comes Unorthodox at the minute. Is he that little bit closer to Ginger Bush? 6 minutes 42 remaining on the clock. And Dan now down to turn 1. Looks to be later on the brakes. Is he going to get it stopped and turned in? No. Looked like he had to brake even more, but he's got the job done.
Somehow he had a better line into the corner, but Ginger Bush is back.
Looking on the inside.
Yeah, and he's still alongside, and we know that Porsche's been a lot better on the brakes than the Audi, and Dan's very wide onto the marbles, and Ginger Bush is back through. This is one heck of a scrap between these two today. Dan now looking to get the run. Got to be side by side up towards turn 4. Dan, he's not going to get it done now. You're not going to lunge from there and make the corner. And Dan backs out of that one nice and easy as Ginger Bush bounces off the curb, and Dan once again. Dan, on Monday, defensively brilliant to, keep Fury at bay, and Fury got the drive through. Oh, all over the curb, he's unorthodox. And now Dan's having to attack to put Ginger Bush under pressure.
Yeah, it's fantastic racer though.
Brilliant.
It is.
Jay in the chat, loving this, he says. I'm loving this indeed. Unorthodox versus Ginger Bush. Sutty's now 3.3 behind these pair. Dennis Newman's not really catching Sutty. Kishenyika's lost out. No pace in the Lexus tonight, or the Hondas. Daz's Audi, nothing. Damage, struggling. Monkey Boy could gain a couple of places here.
Yeah. Well, with 5 minutes left, that's about 3 laps, give or take.
Yeah. 1 minute 40 odd per lap. So yeah, you're looking 140.
They're doing what? Hang on, if I go dry,
44. No, just press timetable and press on the names, I think. I'm looking at Dan's stream. Dan's just done a 45.5 last time around.
Dan did a 46.6, and so did Ginger Bush. I just went to the SimPlay safety cars to look.
Oh, look at Ginger Bush just getting it parked on the apex. He's had a wiggle, and here comes Dan now. Dan looking to use that Audi power. Will he have that inside line into turn 2? Ginger Bush can brake later than Dan. They try and squeeze him. Ginger Bush is now going to try and hang it around the outside. He's not as wide as Dan last time round, and he manages, leaves a car's width, and Dan just got stuck on the curb and couldn't get the acceleration. Now Dan gets a good run up towards turn 4. He's going to the outside. You're not going to normally do it around here. Ginger Bush brakes earlier than Dan. Dan goes so wide, and Ginger Bush is back through. And what a shame that Sutty's not in this fight, because this could be brilliant. Dennis, though, has got the gap down to 1.6.
Yeah, it was a brave maneuver to try and overtake into turn 4, but yeah, you cannot do that.
No, you cannot get it done around there. Ginger Bush still leads this race. Crazy, says Ian McKizzle in the chat. And Dan, well, he got caught on the curb at 2, and Ginger Bush!
No, Ginger.
Big wiggle, and Dan has to avoid him there, but Ginger Bush manages to keep it together. Monkey Boy, by the way, within 2.8 of Daz Automatic now.
Yeah, oh, this is fantastic.
Why did Sutty drop off? It could have been way better with him.
Well, he's back within 2 seconds now, and he can see these two scrapping. Dennis can also see these two scrapping. 3 minutes 30. I think we're in for 2 more laps. 1 more and 2 after this, sorry.
Ginger Bush's defensive into the final corner.
Well, it's for the win. No more tactics.
Yeah, no more. He doesn't need to not defend now like he did earlier in the race. This is for the race win, and with how long's left in this race, Dan knows he's got a real race on his hand, and Ginger Bush has been absolutely fantastic. He's in the middle of the road. Dan's getting closer and closer and closer. Cannot get it done. Ginger Bush breaks into turn 1, and he just doesn't go deep at 1. Parks it on the apex, and Dan just cannot get his foot down on the accelerator, Ben.
Yes, I love the way how Ginger parks it every single lap on that curb. Love it.
Sutty within 1.8. Dennis still within 1.2 of him. So Sutty kind of coming back into play. Leon Fernie's back in the pit lane. He's drove into the pits as well, so he's not returned to pits. Dan's now going to look up the inside into turn 4. And Dan backs out of it this time, probably wisely so. Sutty's now 2.1 off the back, and he's got Dennis Newman for company as well. But this is now a fight for the podium between Dennis and Sutty, and the race win between Dan and Ginger Bush. This is great driving from everybody.
It's fantastic, because second race has been a lot livelier.
Yeah, and they say Hungary cannot produce great racing.
Yeah.
There we go.
And it's been great racing. It's ebbed and flowed. It's been back and
Maybe in
forth between
F1.
Dan and Ginger Bush. That's just F1 racing in general. Dennis Newman, 8/10 off the back of Sooty Apex. Dan, right on the back of Ginger Bush. And this Audi just looks a little unsettled in that dirty air as Ginger Bush into the middle of the road as well. And I'll tell you what, Ginger Bush should be liking the fact that DJ fills the car in front, because that's now giving him some traffic to look at. Dan, right on the back of Ginger Bush. He doesn't look up the inside at the penultimate. Dan is definitely going to set him up for turn 1.
And this will be the last lap as well.
It will be the
Yes.
last lap. So it's do or die for Dan. Dennis Newman right on the back of Sooty Apex as well. Ginger Bush goes defensive very, very early on. So this is fantastic to see. And at the moment...
Not bad.
You what, sorry?
Oh, is that deep?
Ooh, Ginger Bush went a bit deep.
He does go a
And
little
now they
deep.
are
Dan gets
inside.
the switch back, the side-by-side down towards turn 2. Ginger Bush, the first mistake he's made, and he doesn't want to make it now. It's the last lap. Dan breaks
Dan has the
later,
first line.
but now he goes deeper. He's on the marbles a little bit. Ginger Bush now manages to get it back in front. Dennis is right on the back of Sooty as well. Daz, now, great run, but he's had to kind of get off the power. DJ Phil is right in front. He could play an absolute nuisance. Dan's looking at turn 4. Ginger Bush gets it stopped and turn in, and he manages... Unlike Fury to get that drive-through penalty. DJ Phil is right there now. Get off the racing line, Phil. Move out the way because the race leaders are coming. And he's not into the chicane. And Ginger Bush is going to look on the inside of Phil. And Phil is right in the way now at the moment. Now Ginger Bush looks to the left. Now Phil stays right. And Dan goes through as well. Dennis right on the back of Sooty. Sooty will want Phil to move at this moment in time. But it is Dan and Ginger Bush, tooth and nail here, through the middle sector of the Hungary ring, on the final lap of the race. Ginger Bush, can he hang on? 3 more corners. He goes defensive, hits every single apex. Dan to the outside of Ginger Bush. And Ginger Bush gets it stopped and turned in. Now cutting across to the left. He's done just that. Ginger
Now the last
Bush.
question is,
Yeah,
who has
last
the
corner.
run to the finish line?
Dan to that outside line.
It's
Ginger
wide.
Bush gets it parked. Dan's a little wide. He tries to tuck it underneath. He gets on the power earlier. But I think we're going to crown another winner in the Pro-Am. Ginger Bush takes the win from Unorthodox. What a drive from him. Sooty
a
Apex
race.
crosses the line for P2. For P3. Dennis Newman will be then P4. Great result for him. Always he's just hit the back of Sooty. I don't think that was intentional. Kishanika P5. Good result for him at the end. Daz, well, disappointed night for Daz. Just not had the pace. P6. Monkey Boy
Donuts.
will get that of P7. Good result for Monkey Boy. KLF, he's a bit far behind at the minute. DJ Phil has finished the race in P10. And if we can get Ginger Bush in here, if we can,
Did I add him?
have a look.
I'll have a look. See if he is added to the party, if I can add him.
If not, I will try and get him in now while we wait for Kelly to come round the final corner, because I'd love to speak with Ginger Bush about that. That was fantastic. Well, driver of the day has
Pure
become...
masterclass.
Yeah, driver of the day is a bit difficult now because... well, I knew who I was going to give it to, and it changes a little bit now. KLF crosses the line for P7. And Hypertech, no pace in that Ferrari. The Ferrari as well, no pace in that tonight.
No, Ginger Bush is not in here.
I've just invited him. We've lost a driver. Just trying to see who's jumped out the lobby early. Dan, Sooty, Dennis, Kishanika, Monkey Boy Kelly, Hypertech, DJ Phil, Leon Fernie. Well, we'll see when
Daz.
Hypertech gets to the light. It was Daz. Yes, that's right. So Hypertech will be
Daz.
ninth. And Hypertech to the line very slowly at the end. But that then is your full classification here in this one. What a race for Ginger Bush. He takes his first win of the season. And Sooty
Ginger Bush
Apex,
is here.
he is here. Sooty Apex on the podium, as is Unorthodox. But Dan now, that's 2 race wins he's not had to his name. Was he stopped by the phone call? Well, what that does do is that really helps Porsche in their manufacturer's fight over Lexus, because it propels them well above them in the manufacturers. And Bentley have their gap cut short again to 59 points by Audi. So Audi 59 points behind. Apologies. Ferrari are P3. They are tied with Honda. So Honda have clawed back all them points to the Ferrari and are tied with them. McLaren then P5, Porsche up to P6, 19 clear of Lexus, and then it's still Aston Martin, Jaguar, BMW, Mercedes, and Lamborghini and Nissan bringing up the bottom of the pack. Constructors' Championship looks a little like this. Audio Sport are now second place, are now leading, 175 points clear of Switchback Racing Team. KD Racing or P3 with Danico Racing up to 4th. Worst case scenario, P5, Greasy Bandit Racing down in 7th, and Barry the Cat Racing last place at the moment. In the Drivers' Championship, then, it looks a little like this. And the Drivers' Championship is Unorthodox P1 with Daz Automatic P2. Kishanyika is P3. As I thought I had my nephew then, but I can't see him, so I'm not sure what that was. Unorthodox leads the championship, 92 points clear with Daz Automatic. Kishanyika, 101 points behind in 3rd. Dennis Newman, 114 points back in 4th. Sutty jumps KLF to go P5. Kelly's down in 6th. Ginger Butch has really catapulted himself into P7. Hypertex 8th. Anti's 9th with nose attempt. Sekulovic, DJ Phil, Monkey Boy, Bryn Shoemaker just came in real. Leon Fernie, Lucas Roth, and Max Mulder. And then our new driver at the bottom of the pack. Just looking at the chat. He's been with us for a while, says Peaceful Explosion. He was already racing last year. Phil nearly cost him the win there, says Mike in the chat. I think this is the first time I've seen him race someone to give Dan a run for his money. And Micro J, DJ touching cloth into that chicane. There we go. We have, though, the top 3 in the chat at the moment. And we'll start with 3rd place man, Sutty. A chance to possibly get a race win, but that Bentley just could not stick with the Porsche and the Audi.
No, every time I got close and that, it kept just washing out the front. I'd make a mistake, I'd end up a couple of seconds back. Then I'd end up gaining again. It was a bit of cat and mouse, but it was good to watch them two in front. Ginger Bush did really well to hang on.
He did do really well to hang on. Bentley, though, P3, 2 podiums for yourself tonight. You know, you've obviously missed last week with work, but back to podium ways and catapulting yourself up to 6th in the championship.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with 2 podiums. I'd like to battle with, like I say, with Dan and Ginger, but I just didn't get anywhere near. Every time I got close, the car went horrible.
Now we go to a relatively familiar track for yourself next year, a track where you spend more time in a tent or sleeping, watching the fights, cuddled up early. Donington Park. What can you do around there?
I haven't really drove the Bentley around there, so it'll be interesting, but I think the Bentley will be strong, to be honest. So hopefully I get a good setup, maybe get time to practice, and hopefully give the boys a run for the money.
Boys a run for the money, and if you're around for GT4s, the Mercedes round Donington Park, I think you've done it before in a Ginetta on a league that will not be named anymore. So you've done well there. I think if I remember rightly, you got 2nd place to Dan in that GT4 night.
I did, yeah. Me and Dan, as always, beat a couple of GT3s. That's the standard for me and Dan.
Well done tonight, Sutty. We'll see you next week out on track.
Yeah, congratulations, Ginger. Awesome race. Congratulations, Dan.
And we go now to the P2 man, Dan. That's 2 race 2s that you've not had your own way, and Ginger Bush, well, what an awesome scrap that was. Yeah. Well, this was going to lead to my next question. Every time into turn 1, you look to make the move, but he just got it parked on the apex. And, you know, every time you had to go to the outside, you touched the marbles and you just couldn't get the move done. Quite lost. Mm. Yeah. Well, Well, it wasn't just you giving him praise. It was Gary131, and his comment was, "I'm surprised Dan. I bet this brings memories back for Dan following a Porsche this close for so long." Obviously related to Silverstone of the Project Cars 2 days. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we spoke to you Monday night. Obviously, what can you do GT3s at Donington Park? We know your love-hate relationships with British circuits. What can the Audi do around there? Well, it is indeed. Well, hopefully there's a tip to getting the Bentley to win at Donington Park, and I'll have to let Sutty in on it because I know you're going to mention it tomorrow night. So me spinning on the formation lap and winning the race inside that. So Sutty, there you go. Drop it on the formation lap, and you're bound to win. Either way, Dan, well done tonight. We look forward to seeing you back out on track tomorrow, Monday night. And we go to Ginger Bush now. Ginger Bush, high praise from Dan, high praise from two-time champ Gary131. I think Gary might be in your inbox asking for a setup. Oops. Textbooks driving, really, from yourself. Good race one as well, podium in race one, and a good win in race. Sorry, no, fourth place in race one, I believe it was. Sorry, and win in race two. And obviously, you've made the jump from Am to Pro Am. That's a result that proves you can race up the front end of this Pro Am grid. Yeah. Donington Park next week for the Porsche. A bit of an all-round circuit, as Dan says. Is it pretty much going to be, hopefully, more of the same from yourself? Ah, there we go. Well, there we go.
Yes, do that.
Well, Ginger Bush, we apparently can't hear you in the stream, so we will leave it there for tonight. We'll get them settings sorted for the next time you're on the podium. But congratulations tonight on the race win. And that then is your podium. Ben, final thoughts of the day and your driver of the day.
Well, driver of the day, Ginger Bush.
Yeah.
It's not a question, I think. And yeah, the best race I've ever seen. That's not a question.
PM, same to you.
Oh, driver of the day again is Ginger Bush in the Porsche. To defend from a six-time champion for that long. No wonder you're sweating bollocks.
Sorry, go on.
And, well, this race 2 was more exciting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Pro-Am. Can we have some of that tomorrow on Pro? So me and Dan aren't completely bored.
We'll try our best. Rip has decided that he's going to not qualify and start at the back of both races. That's very generous of him.
First race, second race.
He's not really. Yeah. No.
That's true.
No. I'm going to give my vote to Ginger Bush as well for driver of the day. The poll in the audience, so the commentators have given a clean sweep to Ginger Bush. The audience have given the driver of the day to Ginger Bush as well. I was going to go Sutty, but, you know, Ginger Bush took the race winner for me.
He deserves
Ginger
it,
Bush has to take that one. So Ginger Bush, driver of the day from the fans, and Ginger Bush, driver of the day from the commentators. Then in this one, we head to Donington Park for Pro-Am next week. We're the home of the SimPlay Straight. What can the drivers do around there? The GP circuit, the Grand Prix circuit, is the location for next week's track in the heart of the East Midlands. Can Dan carry on his championship form? If Ginger Bush is here, will he get another race win? Can Dennis Newman stop him in the Honda? Or who will do what? Thank you to Ben and PN for joining me tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure once again. But we'll see you tomorrow night on Orthodubs and PNMotorsport back in the commentary box. 8 p.m. BST will be live. GMT, sorry, will be live now. The clocks went back, didn't they? 8 p.m. GMT will be live with all the action from Hungaroring for the Pro Series. Look out for Nexus on the grid in his Jaguar, Mathew in his Bentley, along with every other driver on the grid, Ripper and Overtaker. It's going to be a fantastic night of racing. We'll be back next Wednesday night for Donington Park. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.